invite you to splash in the pool of cultural expressivity and soak yourself in the celebration of indigenous authenticity in our Heritage Month. Join us for the Heritage Month launch on Friday, February 28th as we kick off a month of unforgettable experiences. Pack your bags for the Heritage Caravan, a week-long adventure across Ghana from March the 2nd to the 9th. Discover the beauty and history of our land. Savor the flavors at the Back to Your Village Food Festival, a culinary extravaganza on March 29th and 30th. Taste the essence of Ghana. Tune in to the Heritage On Air series on 97.3 CDFM and Channel 1 TV. Feel the rhythm of our music, journey through our religious history, and indulge in indigenous Ghanaian food. Join us to celebrate our heritage this Heritage Month, where every moment is a story. Only on Channel 1 TV and 97.3 CDFM.
Of their labors, toils of the brave, which have brought return.
Months into the government of John Dramani Mahama, and the government has presented its first budget. On Tuesday, Finance Minister Dr. Kesa Latoforsen announced the government fiscal policy for the year 2025. Today on Situation Room, we'll not talk about the budget. We'll talk to you about what is happening in the opposition New Patriotic Party, or the NPP. Many have said the party is in crisis on the back of the party's heaviest defeat ever in the party's political history. Today on Situation, we will discuss the NPP as a political party, the future of the party, and what Ghanaians expect from the opposition New Patriotic Party. When we come back from the break, I'll tell you who I'm doing the show with, and we'll discuss the matters.
Step up with DSTV and we'll show up by giving you more incredible entertainment.
Going to have a little fun.
Upgrade your subscription between the 13th of January and the 31st of March and get an even higher package for a whole month on us.
Buckle up, here we go.
There's nothing better than putting a little bit in but getting a lot out.
Time to boost some office morale.
Incredible!
If you want to build a future, you gotta know what you want.
Step up and we'll show up on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
Welcome back. My name is Sami Wiafi, and this is the Situation Room. Here we talk politics, and as I said earlier, today we're discussing the opposition New Patriotic Party, or the NPP. In previous week, we discussed the NDC and the government appointment, or the appointment by President John Dramani Mahama. Today the focus is on the NPP. After the party's heaviest defeat ever, many have asked questions within the party. You remember some weeks ago or months ago, the party set up a committee chaired by Professor Michael Okwe to investigate and find out what really caused the party's defeat in the 2024 election. Somewhere in the Ashanti region, we also understand that the party commissioned a committee chaired by former Majority Leader Oseche Mensah-Bonsu to also conduct an investigation into how the party suffered some, it won't be defeat, some apathy or sort within the Ashanti region, how the Ashanti region did not come out in their numbers to vote, and how come the NDC increased their numbers in the Ashanti region, a region considered to be the stronghold of the MPP. And as always, I do this show with my friend, colleague, and brother, Fred Tete Jabano. Fred, what's up?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm well. God is still keeping me. So a quick update, the much anticipated budget, the first budget of John chapter 2 came on Tuesday. Expectations were high. A lot of people were thinking or hoping that a lot of the things the then candidate Mahama said on the campaign platform will come to pass. And indeed, some of the expectations were met. For you, were some met?
Yes, I mean, the budget, you can put the budget into two different parts. The pure economics and running of finance, then the politics of the budget. If we look at the politics of the budget, you'd go back to the campaign of the MPP, of the NDC, when the flag bearer at the time was going across the country and promising. He made certain specific promises and indicated that this would reflect in the first 120 days of his government. He was elected eventually. He became president. He has become president, and now he's presented his budget, which was done on his behalf by the finance minister. For the politics of it, you're looking at what are the promises. Yeah. He talked about taxes and how he was going to ensure that he eliminates some of the taxes. We talk about the popular betting tax. That was a major campaign promise. In this particular budget, we realize that the betting tax has been taken out. You talk about the emission tax. You talk about
e-levy and
the e-levy. The COVID levy. The COVID levy has not been taken out, but there's an explanation according to the finance minister that it is incorporated into the whole VAT system, and that will be dealt with separately in subsequent months. But then you look at most of the promises in terms of what he was going to do, the taxes he was going to eliminate. He has eliminated them through this particular budget. He talks about funding for roads, funding for hospitals. Yes, he did not go through the list of all the sectors, but in the composite budget, which has been presented into Parliament, you go through and you see that all these things have been there. But as to whether these things will reflect, for budgets, you can always present a budget. As to whether the money will be available or be made available to the various sectors to be able to implement all these promises, we are yet to see. And you see, interestingly, once we talk about the politics of the budget, once the budget is presented, you have the other side.
Of course.
The opposition, the minority, coming out to raise concerns about what they believe is in the budget that they disagree with or would not inure to the benefit of the Ghanaian populace. And as usual, right after the budget, the MPP presented their view of the budget. And today, they also presented another state of the nation, according to the MPP, and which had to also look at the budgets as it stands. The MPP raised the issues of the betting tax, which has become so topical, where the former finance minister indicated that they never implemented and didn't take it.
A lot of people,
and
talking.
On social media, I saw a lot of people,
we saw people
posting their receipts, but
later
came to explain that he meant the Lotto 10% tax on lottery.
At a point, I also saw an explanation from the former Director General of the NLE, Sami Oku.
Yes.
Also explained this Lotto bit.
Yes, the 10% tax on lottery earnings. And that is what the former finance minister said he was referring to. But yes, interestingly, as you said, the budget comes up and there's the politics of it, and it's being played out very well within the public space and the media space. Everybody is sharing their views, and people are talking about the big push agenda of the NDC. The NDC says they have allocated funds to begin the big push project. Then the MPP says, look, the amount of money you have allocated is far less than what you promised. And if you want to even give yourself 4 years, that amount you're allocating, looking at what you've allocated now per year, per every 1 year till your end of to the end of your 4-year tenure, you may not get to that 10 million you are talking about. So yes, there's been different
As
things.
always, every time the government presents its budget, you always have the opposition and the civil society groups and the rest coming in to have their says.
But a lot of people have also commended the finance minister for the budget. You've seen a lot of civil society organizations indicating that they believe that this budget is
the expectation of many Ghanaians was the removal of these taxes.
Yes.
The e-levy especially, and then the betting tax for those I call the investors. You know, they were worried about this particular tax, and for the announcement that these taxes are going is a plus for Ghanaians. A lot of them are happy. So let's put the budget aside. Yesterday, finance minister delved deep into the budget.
This afternoon, actually.
This afternoon, yeah, actually, you know, dealt with the budgets with Benalo. So today, we'll deal differently from the budget. Now we talk about politics and the MPP. There are many who have asked the future of the party.
Exactly.
After what many describe as, or arguably, the party's heaviest defeat ever since, you know, its formation. And many have asked that, where does the party go from here? From here meaning after the 2024 election. Will the party be able to regroup, you know, come back stronger in 2028 or maybe 2032 when the party may come back to power? Are you of the view that indeed the MPP is in crisis as we speak?
Sami, a party which comes from 51% or 50% whereabout in the year 2020 and then ends up at 41% in the next election, obviously would be in crisis.
I disagree.
This is where I come from. I mean, you're a party in government, you've been running the affairs of the state for 8 years. You put forward a candidate which you believed could win you power. You were very confident of winning power. You used so many means to campaign. Before the election, we were told that the worst the MPP could face was a second round. You go into the election, and like you said in your introduction, the party receives the defeats it's never received before. 41%. You go to your stronghold, where everybody knows that if for nothing at all, your worst performance would hit you around 75, 78%. You go as much as 65%. Your stronghold, where you have 47 constituencies. Out of that 47 constituencies, you have only 4 being for the opposition. In this election, you lose 9 seats in your stronghold. After this particular defeat, the party sets in a committee to investigate the loss of the party in the 2024 elections. The Ashanti region, as a branch of the party, also goes in to set another committee to investigate their loss. Which is which? You understand? The National Party has set a committee led by Professor Okwe. And within that committee, they have committees to deal with various regions. Within the same party, a regional chairman sets up another committee to investigate why they think they lost in that region. At the same time, almost the same time, where the party has set up the committee. The explanation given, which you know, I've had opportunity to speak to people from the region, is that the reason or the decision behind the regional chairman's, you know, directive for them to also investigate what happened in their region, because the numbers that came out from the election wasn't impressive, and it's the Ashanti region considered to be, you know, the biggest when it comes to the MPP or the World Bank of the MPP. And so for him as regional chairman, it was an indictment on his part and the executives as to why the party performed this way in that region. And so the Professor Michael Okwe report is for the national election proper, which will include Ashanti, but then he is just doing what he feels is good within his region, which is the Ashanti region. So the more reason why he commissioned this particular, you know, investigations or a survey or a report in the Ashanti region to find out what really caused the party. Because whatever happens in the Ashanti region had a national effect. Yes. Which the MPP... We are talking, that is fine. That is perfectly fine. But the issue is leadership. who is taking charge of the party as we speak now, who is making the calls, who is the party rallying around in times of a defeat where you are trying to rebuild before even early Congress. People are actually even started calling that. They think that the way the party is going, the executives, national executives should consider organizing an emergency Congress.
That has come up.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because there's a question of who is leading. For example, in 2008, after the MPP were defeated in the 2000 elections, you saw what happened in the party and the concerns people raised. But in 2008, you saw strong figures in the party who stood up and got the party united around them to run. You had the former president, who had just then exited power, trying to lead a party in opposition. But even him, there was a stronger person and a stronger leader with a stronger direction, which was the flag bearer at the time, Nana Akufo-Addo. So in 2008, right after the election, you could see a rallying point and some sort of leadership and direction as to where the party was going. Do we see it now? After the 2008 election, there came in the Jacob Echebi-Lamte leadership. Even within the Jacob Echebi-Lamte leadership, you still had a strong man who was directing the party in a particular way, which was still Nana Akufo-Addo, the candidate who had lost the election. After they lost in 2012, what happened? This was when now there was a crisis of the party saying that the election had been rigged.
And so they wanted to go to courts, which they went to courts.
There was still leadership.
Election
there was still leadership. There was still leadership by then chairman Jacob Echebi-Lamte, supported by flag bearer Nana Akufo-Addo.
So the argument is that the party lacks a strong leader who will rally, party supporters or party members.
You see, Sammy, it's usually normal that when a party loses
an election. Yes, when a party loses an election.
When a party loses an election.
Morale is down when a party loses an election.
But then there needs to be somebody to raise that
morale. The national chairman is there.
Sammy, when was the last time? When was the last time you heard of the national chairman of the NPP?
Per the party's constitution.
Yes.
When the party is in opposition or even in government, the national chairman is always the leader of the party.
Yes.
There's a convention that when a party is in power, then the president will assume the responsibility of being the leader of the party until the party is in power. But there's no clear constitutional definition or provision in the party's constitution that states that when the party is in power, the president is the leader. But there's a clear constitutional provision that when the party is on opposition, it is the national chairman who is the leader of the party. As we speak now, Stephen Ayesu Intim is the national chairman of the party. He's holding the position. Is the national chairman of the MPP and the leader of the MPP as we speak. So if anybody makes the argument that the MPP doesn't have a leader and wants someone to rally around it, the national chairman is there. As far as I'm aware, his mandate started in the year 2022. It's supposed to end around 2028 or so, which is I think 2026, which is the 4-year mandate. If he seeks re-election, and party delegates feel that they want to give him another mandate, he will continue with that tenure. But as we speak, per the party's constitution, there's the national chairman, which is Stephen Itim, is the leader of the MPP.
Well said, Sami. When we talk about leadership, we are not talking about holding a position. Holding a position, you are holding a leadership position as national chairman. I'm not saying that there's a vacuum of a vacuum where you don't have a national chairman, or there's a vacuum where you don't have a general secretary.
But you are saying that we need the party needs someone
you can have somebody filling a position, but is the person leading? That is the question. It is not about somebody whether the party has a national chairman or a general secretary or a national organizer. That's not the argument. Yes, if we talk about leadership in that sense, yes, the MPP has a leadership where all positions are filled. Their tenure hasn't come to an end. Now the question is, how are they leading? Are the people the followers and the supporters, having a direction? Who is taking control of the party? Who is making decisions and who is rallying people around to ensure that these decisions, party members accept it? You understand? Now you've lost an election. where is the direction of the party? Where is the party going to? Where is the party headed to? Are we still doing the same thing at the over and over again after you have lost your worst defeat of 41%? Are you still going to do the same thing? What is the new direction for the party? What is the new face for the party? Do you see a sense of that in the MPP as we speak now?
I get your points loud and clear, but then the counter argument will also be that as we speak, the instances that you gave in 2008 and 2012 and the rest, the then leader of the party, the national chairman then, and then the immediate past flag bearer, which was Nana Akufo-Addo, took hold of the party. Are we then saying that Dr. Bawumia should also come and take hold of the party and run the affairs of the party? He is not the flag bearer. He was elected the flag bearer for an election in 2024. That election is over.
Sami, in 2012, I mentioned the then national chairman, Jacob Echebilam.
Definitely. Hold on. And you mentioned Nana Akufo-Addo too?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Now, Dr. Bawumia, who is the immediate past leader of the MPP, because he led the party into the election, is no more the leader of the MPP or no more the flag bearer. If he seeks to run again and get delegates' mandate to lead again, then he can take leadership of the party.
In 2008, was Nana Akufo-Addo leader of the
party?
Hold
on, let me make my argument.
No, I'm just asking.
No, he wasn't.
But what did he do?
Fine, because he had the ambition to run again, so he started his work. Now we do not know, hold on. Now we do not know whether Dr. Bawumia has the ambition to run again or not. He's not come out publicly to say, even though we've heard people around him make those arguments. But him personally, we've not heard him say.
But do you necessarily need Dr. Bawumia to be the one to take charge and lead the party? As I'm saying,
because
you have a national chairman.
Because he's still,
the MPP has a national
because he's still the face of the MPP. Because of the immediate past election, he's still the face of the MPP. Because of the immediate, or else he issued a statement not too long ago when the chief of staff issued a directive, terminate the appointment of some, people who are appointed by his administration. He issued a statement because he's still the face of the party because of the immediate election. But then if you want him to be, the pillar and rally people and call people around him, that is not his job.
I mean, he doesn't necessarily have.
That is not his job.
He doesn't necessarily have to be the pillar. As I'm not saying that Dr. Bawumia should get up and indicate that and take charge of the party. I'm not saying Dr. Bawumia should be the one leading the party. I am saying that the party has a number of people or personalities who have been put in place.
And I've told you the national chairman is there.
And I'm saying that, are you seeing any form of leadership from the national chairman? Are you seeing it? If you see it, tell me. Are you seeing it? From the general secretary.
You hold on. Let's speak to a member of the party, someone in leadership of the party. Let's speak to Haruna Mohammed. He's the deputy general secretary of the MPP in charge of operations, and get his thought on these arguments the Fed is making, that the party needs a figure who can rally around, and call the shots.
Not even just a figure.
And people. Call people around and the rest. Haruna, if you can hear me, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure you'll be hearing the argument between Fred and I. Okay, Haruna, I'm sure you're hearing the argument between Fred and I.
Yes, Sammy.
Can you hear me?
Exactly. I was listening to the conversation. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'm sure you are hearing the argument between.
I can hear you.
I can also hear you loud and clear. I'm sure you're listening to the argument between Fred and I. Fred says that someone within the party must rise to more or less rally party members and party supporters so that there will be a clear direction. My argument is that there's a national chairman of the MPP whose duty is supposed to be that.
Haruna, do you have a direction for the party?
Yeah. Yes, we have. But first, I would say good afternoon to your cherished viewership and yourself, the two hosts of this particular program. I want to correct one significant fact on this particular program. The MPP's biggest defeat in terms of percentage was not the elections for the 2024. If you check the 1996, we had 39%. So it is inaccurate to say that this has been the biggest in terms of 41.75%. I think that this is another improvement in terms of a defeat that we have suffered, but the heaviest was the 39 point something percent or so in the 1996 elections to the
Thank you for the correction.
Yes. Secondly, you've mentioned of the leadership of the party, and I am happy you have been able to indicate clearly in the constitution of our party, which is clearly stated in Article 10.5 of our party's constitution. Yes, and which is stated that the national chairman calls for meetings. The national chairman leads in everything that the party does, i.e., in National Council, NEC meetings, National Congress, and all other meetings are called by the national chairman and led by the national chairman. Probably people are looking up to see the word leader of the party. And we all know that leader in here, as dictionaries defines them, talks about the one who leads or commands a group or an organization. And it is the national chairman who commands and leads the MPP. So you don't need to see leader specified. However, many people have given suggestions as to have a very clear part of this stated in the constitution in terms of review. But it is unambiguous that the national chairman at all times, whether in opposition or in government, is the leader of the party. You've made mention of whether we have a direction. Sammy, we concluded these 2024 elections with so many issues coming out from it. The first thing that the party had direct in terms of leadership direction for the 2024, the aftermath of the 2024 elections, was to rescue the seas that were being vandalized, and the NDC had put in their hoodlums who were going around destroying electoral materials and threatening election officers in terms of collection of some of these particular seas. You saw a number of representations of the national party. The general secretary was there. I have been there in several instances for the EC continuing to make collations and make declarations on some of these particular seas. The first thing was the focus was to make sure that we rescue these seas, and this is a clear part of leadership direction. You don't need to see the national chairman being in action to be able to execute that. Leadership performs better in assigning duties and roles or giving people to represent leaders at any point in time. Also defines how effective leaderships are. And the national chairman has clearly executed that. The national chairman, through the general secretary, has had the cause to lead press conferences upon press conferences that have to speak on behalf of the party and give direction to the party. We have continued this one, and then we call for the National Council, our first National Council meeting after the defeat. This was called without the National Executive Committee meeting. This was where leadership took the decision to form the Professor Michael Quay's committee to look at two issues. One, to look at why we lost the elections, and two, to look at whether there is any possibility of a review or amendment that will be contained in the constitution with respect to some of the aspects of the structure of the party. And again, with respect to people coming out and doing whatever they want, as part of the structure of the party, we have what we call the National Council of Elders. The national leadership of the party called on the National Council of Elders to issue a statement with regards to people going around to campaign, instead of looking at how we are able to come back together, regroup, and then get the force behind the elephant, which has always been the winning symbol. And these directions have been given. The committee has started its work. They have 3-month mandates to perform their duties. As part of those particular duties that they were doing, the national party also took a decision. The national chairman and the general secretary were in the University of Cape Town. We met TESCON, and then leadership of MPP members who are lecturers and we met them. We also went to Legon. We met the leadership of MPP members in the TESCOM fraternity. We met lecturers who has been patrons and who are affiliated to the New Patriotic Party. We have done this severally to meet party people, and the national chairman was so much visible in these particular activities. Apart from that, we have held several other meetings. Just the day before yesterday, we had a NEC meeting where the leadership also took a decision, which was chaired by the national chairman of our party. It is not every activity that you are doing that you have to put out. Activities that has to see people seeing you doing it. The MPP has always executed that. We are waiting on the report of the Professor Mike Okwe's committee. There are activities that the General Secretary has outlined, and this was put before NEC, and NEC in its wisdom has asked that these particular reports or these particular activities should wait when the report of Professor Mike Okwe comes, and it will come by the end of this particular month. So the MPP has been in action, the leadership of the party. I have visited several regions and constituencies with the General Secretary of the party. As I speak to you, I'm just exiting from Nkwanta South constituency to Nkwanta, which is there are a lot of things that we are doing which necessarily doesn't need to be publicized. And this defeat that has happened to us is something that we are working on behind the scenes to come back stronger in the 2028 general elections.
Aruna,
you have given several instances where the party has...
Hello, Aruna. Sorry to cut in. I can see your role, so
yes, I
won't take much of your time. You mentioned that you are waiting for the Professor Okwe committee report before you can take a decision. Does it mean that everything is on hold, awaiting the report of Professor Michael Okwe?
No. There are activities that are ongoing behind the scenes. And I am saying that you will see major of our activities, outdoor activities, after Professor Michael Okwe's committee's report has come. Sami, when such reports come, it calls for a national congress, definitely, because the National Council will look at it and the National Congress will be done. In the last election in 2020, when Osafo Mafu committee's report came, we went for Congress in Kumasi, where amendments were sought, but these were incompleted. And up to date, we have those particular amendments being standstill. And we are prepared to add these particular proposals to whatever it will come from the Professor Michael Okwe's committee. So it is virtually not true that the party has not had leadership. The party is not doing anything. The party has gone to sleep. The party's leadership is not putting in any effort. That is not a fact, and I want to clearly state it. I'm a leader of the party. I'm part of the leadership of the party. I am just informing you. I'm leaving a constituency in Nkwanta South, and I'm going to Nkwanta North. Nobody knows the activity I am doing, and I am virtually working for the party.
Finally, before you go, and just a quick one. There are many who have called for some reforms within the party, which you've mentioned, and some of the reforms include an early Congress to elect, leadership and a flag bearer, so they prepare for the next election. Have you heard these calls, and is this something the party will agree to?
I think that it has always been the position after the defeat in 2024. The General Secretary indicated clearly that he wants to have an early Congress. One of the reasons to have this particular early Congress is because many people are not interested in how we are rebuilding. People are interested in positions that they are going to contest in. In the bit in doing, they create much more problems for the party. So it is the view that if we are able to go straight on to have early elections, no matter when your tenure of office ends, the party can always truncate the tenure by a decision of National Council, which is proposed by the National Executive Committee. So the General Secretary clearly wants to have elections done by the close of this year. If it is not exhausted, then it should be ended in the first quarter of 2026. And by the end of 2026 or middle of 2026, probably we should have a flag bearer where we'll prepare towards the 2028 elections.
Haruna, thank you very much for your time. I can see you in a row, so I won't take much of your time. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best. Haruna
Thank
Mohammed,
you, Sammy, and my good brother in the show, who has been giving a very critical analysis of the leadership role and people to take up the mantle of this particular party.
Thank you very much, Haruna. Thank you very much.
Position to get this done.
Thank you very much, Haruna. Haruna Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP in charge of operations. Like you can see, he's already on the road and doing operational things. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll take you to the Ashanti region and we'll give you details of the Osei Mensah Bonsu's report that also investigated, what happened within the NPP in the Ashanti region, resulting in some number of defeats in the region as far as the parliamentary election is concerned.
Looking for the latest buzz in Ghana's entertainment world? Welcome to Ghana Weekend, your ultimate destination for all things creativity and entertainment.
Stay in the loop with breaking news, exclusive interviews, and then insider stories from your favorite creatives and stars. From music, movies, fashion and art, lifestyle and culture, Ghana Weekend brings it all together. Get a daily dose of entertainment, discover new talents, and never miss out on the creativity that defines our vibrant culture.
Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle Ghana Weekend, on X Ghana Weekend, on TikTok Ghana Weekend, at Ghana Weekend on YouTube for the latest in entertainment, travel, and everything Ghana. Don't miss out. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, where entertainment meets creativity. Visit GhanaWeekend.com now.
You're welcome back. You're still watching The Situation Room. On The Situation Room, we talk politics. My name is Sami Wiafe. I'm doing this with Fred Tete Jabona. As I mentioned earlier, the Ashanti regional leadership of the NPP, led by Chairman Wuntumi Badan and Chibesi Akon, also set up a committee led by former majority leader and former member of parliament for the Swame constituency, Osei Mensah Bonsu. He was also a former minister of parliamentary affairs to also investigate the party's poor performance in the Ashanti region, a region considered to be the stronghold of the NPP. As you're aware, the NDC increased its number of seats in the region from 4 to 7. Many have asked questions how this could be possible in a region considered to be one of the strongholds or the stronghold of the NPP. The report is out and will take you through some of the recommendations or some of the things that affected the party in the region, resulting in the party's poor showing in the Ashanti region. Fred, so this was a committee chaired by Osei Mensah Bonsu, an experienced politician, a still politician, if you ask me. He's seen it all.
One of the people who people are asking to stand up for
to leadership. Be a national chairman. I've had those conversations, and he has said that if only he will go unopposed,
that won't happen.
He will take up that role as national chairman. But the NPP as a political party will never allow such a thing to happen. So run us through, this particular report.
This particular report dealt with 2,559 respondents in the 47 constituencies within the Ashanti region. And in this report, it shows that the party had a decline of 24% from the 2024 elections as compared to the 2020 elections. So when you look at the figures, it tells you that in 2020, the party had over 1.7 million votes. And in 2024, it fell to about 1.3 million votes. Then what did the party say? Before the 2024 elections, the NDC had just 4 seats.
4 seats,
That was Asawase, etc., Afram Plains, Edra, etc., Dumase, and New Edibiase. These 4 seats are or you say
safe seat for the NDC,
safe seats
for the NDC in the region. Yeah.
But ahead of the 2024 election, the MPP had made it very clear that they were going to win 3 out of this 4 seats, which were Setcheredum, Afram Place, Edra, Setcheredum, and New Dubiasi.
The MPP has won New Dubiasi before.
They have
that
won.
was in 2016.
Exactly.
I think it's Bright Odro or so.
Yes.
He was made deputy agric minister.
Exactly.
Yes.
So they were confident of getting 3 out of this 4. But what happened in the 2024 elections? After the elections, the MPP actually lost the 4 and lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
5 more, making them lose 9 seats in the Ashanti region. Adansia Sokwa, Efeja Kwabera North, Ahafra North, Southeast, Kofrum, and Ashanti Akim North. But the Ashanti Akim North was won by an independent
candidate
in that particular election. A very shocking election. You come. Now, after all these, the party says, look, let's set a committee and look at it. The committee was made up, as you said, of the chairman, Oseche Mensah Bonsu, Emelda Entry. Emelda Entry is one of the young people within the party in the region. You had William Opombio. William Opombio is a financier of the MPP, a businessman. You have Ben Abdallah Banda. Ben Abdallah Banda was a former MP. In the
latter part of the administration was the chairman of the Zongo. Is it the Zongo Development Fund?
Yes, so the Zongo Development Fund, the Zongo Ministry, which was now moved into an authority or a fund. Then you have Rose Hamilton. Rose Hamilton is a businesswoman. She contested the last National Council of State elections and withdrew when the election had to be rerun.
Okay.
So she was a business person and is part of the NDC. And you have Dr. Oneba Owusu Danso, who is an academic and a member of the party. So the MPP executive set up this committee to go around and find what exactly the problem was. And one of the first findings in the report was the delegate system.
Yeah.
The delegate system, and what they found out from the respondents, that when you look at the current delegate system of the MPP, there's a lot of favoritism, nepotism, vote buying, and which affected their candidate selection. According to the respondents, because of these things, it led to apathy among some party members, and this brought about weak candidates who could not really campaign and buy the votes and buy the support of the people of the Ashanti region.
The delegate system, a lot of people have raised issues, with the delegate system of the MPP, because it starts from the ground up. So you have the polling station executive, 5 of them. In some areas, they don't even have elections at all. They handpick these individuals to run those polling stations. And then when you move from there, and then there's the electoral area coordinators. The electoral coordinators are also sometimes handpicked instead of being, elected. Then you come to the constituency. The constituency is where the proper election is done. And then the regional, executives, and then the national. So it is more or less like a bottom-up approach. So the polling station, 5 people, electoral area coordinator. So 5 polling stations become 1 electoral area per the MPP's constitution. And then for the electoral area, you come to the constituency level, and then the region, and then the national comes in. So this is how the MPP, delegate system per the party's constitution is made up of. That's how they run it.
When you look at the numbers and you read the report and you listen to the respondents according to the report, one of the concerns they have with your delegate system, the MPP's delegate system, is that when it comes to elections, because of the numbers and how the people are selected, there's a lot of vote buying and influence.
Yeah.
So I recall when we went for the last national conference of the party, how a lot of the candidates felt that they were losing out because people were buying, people were paying. So
the plan to, in fact, increase the delegate system or increase the numbers came from the 2007 Legon Congress, where only you had a selected few of about 2,000, coming in to elect a flag bearer. The party felt that this system wasn't right for having only 2,000, around 2,000, 2,005 people to come and elect a flag bearer for a national election, which was highly influenced by cash. No 2 ways. I saw them whilst this was happening in Legon. And so the party felt that let's expand the system. Let's make it wider so at least the influence will not be there. So the party decided, okay, let's expand from the polling station, electoral area, and even with that extension, the candidates or the politicians are still able to influence with cash. And so there's an argument which Haruna Boss, which is the General Secretary, has made that there's the need to expand it further. Expanding it further, they want to make it all card-bearing members of the NPP in good standing. So you are a card-bearing member who pays your dues or who pays dues every month. So those people or these people will qualify to be known as delegates, not just anybody who will just come and register and be, because they want it to be in a setting where they can control. Remember, NDC some years ago opened up the system and they realized that no, this was a bad idea. So they
joined the 2016 before the 2016 elections.
So the NPP doesn't want to go that particular way. They want to do card-bearing members in good standing. Yes. So that's the proposal. As to whether Congress will agree to it is up to the NPP and the party to decide on that.
So I mean, the next finding was the economic hardship. According to the respondents, there was high inflation, cost of living was high, the depreciation of the currency, amongst other things. They blamed their defeat, especially in the region, on the economic hardship the people in the region were facing. The next thing the people found was the perceived corruption.
Yeah.
According to them, the report, there was a lot of public distrust and amongst the leadership and the people running government. According to them, issues such as the concerns of the National Cathedral, the missing excavators, the mismanagement of the COVID-19 fund, alongside the clearance of certain people who were perceived to have engaged in corrupt practices, also led to the party losing, especially in the region.
Yeah.
We move to the next one, which they blamed on the leadership style of the former president, Nana Akufo-Addo. According to the report, a lot of people saw Nana Akufo-Addo as being unresponsive to public concerns. They also raised concerns with his unwillingness to reshuffle ministers. So you recall,
even though there were several calls,
a number of calls.
I remember there was an event at the NPP headquarters where the General Secretary publicly said that there was a need for the president to reshuffle ministers and even CEOs who the party felt was or were sabotaging the cause for the 2024 election.
There was also a concern of his disregard for the parliamentary caucus, where the caucus raises concerns, especially the removal of the former finance minister, and nothing was done about it. So a lot of the respondents also felt that the leadership style of Nana Akufo-Addo in the last 4 years of his tenure did not help them to win that particular or to retain power. They also believe that there was disunity and internal conflict. So there's an issue of MPs, MMDCs, and working with other during the campaigns. So for example,
it has always been an issue.
The party indicated or gave a direction that when you're an MMDC
and you want to contest, resign 2 clear years.
But because of that, some MMDCs who were unable to contest did not support MPs.
Yeah.
They also raised concerns with chief executives of other agencies who were given an opportunity to come contest MPs. So the MP is out of town working, the chief executive is pushing in money. So there was a lot of disunity amongst the people and a lot of unresolved conflicts within the polling station level, at the polling station level of the party. They also indicated that there was an issue with campaign weakness. There was no coordination, lack of strategy. There was they lost their natural allies, and the committee members indicated that natural allies were businessmen, were the young people, the educated people, the middle class. They lost all that. There was also a weak grassroots engagements, which delayed in communication. So they didn't really communicate properly. The also issue of tribal and religious factors. A lot of the respondents believe that the religious factor did not play in so much.
Yeah.
Where the flag bearer is a Muslim, they believe that did not play any role. But then, when it comes to ethnicity and tribe, they believe that the people from the northern descent believed in seniority.
Yeah.
According to the report by Chairman Sabosu, they believed in seniority. And so a lot of people from the northern part of the country believe that John Mahama was senior to Muhammadu Bawumia, so he should be given the nod, so that the northern people are given another opportunity to lead for the next 8 years. So that will be 16 years. That is what the people thought, or one of the reasons they believe the party lost. There were a number of recommendations to abolish the delegate system, like you mentioned, allow everybody to vote, everybody in good standing to vote. We look at the party structure. As we have now, you have, as you said, from polling station up all the way to national chairman. But the party structure should be re-looked at, adding other people to the executive councils within the region and the constituencies. There was also the issue of dealing with economic and anti-corruption measures when the party is in power, always ensuring that they put party appointees on their toes. You ensure that they are accountable to the people. The party should also be able to investigate and draw their attention of the government when they are in power, that this person has done this person has done that, the president must take action and remove it. They want the party to have more power in terms of the running of the affairs of the country. Then finally, we have the issue of unity and campaign strategies. So they are asking, as part of the recommendation, that the party goes down to the local level to unite the people, because there seemed to be a lot of division following the 2024 elections, and even prior to the 2024 elections, the internal elections and the party caused so many divisions, which they believe should be addressed before the next election. All right, Fred, thank you very much. We'll still come back today, but let's do a quick interview. Let's speak to Dr. Richard Amwakomba. He's a former head of the Political Science Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. We speak to him and get his perspective on this particular report by Osechi Mensah-Bonsu, former majority leader. Doc, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time, if you can hear me.
Yes, indeed, I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much again for your time. Doc, I'm sure you've seen or read this particular report of the committee chaired by Osechi Mensah-Bonsu, the former majority leader. Let me take
who appointed that committee?
The regional executive led by the regional chairman of the party. That's what we are told.
Is that how it's supposed to be? Is that how it works? No person who was in the ruling party in office, I'm talking about party leaders, should be directing this affair. So how did they come about? The way it came about made the report not credible. You see, the regional chairman of Ashanti region, wasn't he part of the problem about Galamsey and just about everything else? So why is he the one directing the affairs? That's another question you should ask. So such a report should not even be dwelled on, because it's not credible. Because there are so many things left out. And when you want to do a thorough investigation, this is not what you do. There's a few people, they say what they want, what they see. There's so much they didn't see. The people in the region, they have their own outlook. For example, I heard you talking about the Northerners and so forth and so on. I'm sure the people in the region will cry that they are the backbone of the party. And where are the leaders from the region? Where are they? You see. And so it depends on where you are coming from. Your outlook could be different. Doesn't mean what you say is always right. But the leaders should listen to everyone. There should be a period of collation of reasons why you think they didn't go well. Anybody can bring it. Just make sure it's a party member. And then when you get all these, you will eliminate some because they are frivolous. Then you talk about exhaustive reasons why this happened and this happened and this happened. As you were talking, I could think of so many. Everything you said, I could think of another. You see, so the way we did it, even that is not correct. It's not exhaustive enough. The people who are in charge are not credible. What are we going to do? Are you going to come up with good reasons and fix them? If you don't come up with what happened, you can't fix them. That's the bulk of the whole notion. That's it. You want to see what happens so we can fix them, so it doesn't happen again. And if you don't do that, how are you going to fix it?
But Doc, from where you sit and your observation, what do you think caused this poor performance in the Ashanti region specifically?
So many things. So many things.
Alice, give me 3.
Well, the dissatisfaction with the leadership. You see, there was disunity. You said so many disunity. Some people were just affronted. You see, some people contributed to the party only for them to be disregarded. Some people don't want any money. All they want is recognition. Thank you. Note will be good enough. You bring the president to the region, make sure such people take pictures with the leadership of the party. That makes them happy. It makes them part of the party. And this does not cost money. Even this we could not do well. This is the problem. So the people in charge did not have good ideas. That brings about unity.
Dr. Richard Amwakumba, unfortunately the telephone lines are not our best of friends. Now we'll try and raise him again on the line to conclude the point that he was making. But Fred, basically, Dr. Amwakumba feels that there's more problem than what the committee, has come up with.
Yes. You see, Dr. Amwakumba believes that the current crop of people who are even investigating to find out what happened
are not credible
themselves to be investigating such an issue. He also is raising concerns of leadership, like we've said before. He sounds like there's no actual proper leadership within the region, which also led to where it is. He's spoken about how people were neglected, and when you look at the findings, there were a number of times where you saw respondents indicating that after the party came into power, they were neglected. So you go to party appointees and nobody is minding you. You go to the party office to go and share a view and nobody wants to see you.
Fred, don't you think that anytime there's a defeat or a political party suffers defeat, there are quite a number of issues that come up? Assuming the party had won the election, were we going to see all these things come up?
Sami, that is why the party lost an election. When a party loses an election, that is when you see the cancer in the party. When the party is in power,
but when the party wins, you don't see these things.
Yes, when the party wins these things, a lot of times it's covered up by the victory and the happiness and the fact that there's hope amongst party members that whatever they are seeking for, whatever they are looking out for, they may get it. But when the party now loses, that is when you get to realize that there are so many issues within the party which has not been resolved. And this is not just to do with the MPP. You look at the NDC. After the 2012 elections, after the 2016 elections, when the party lost, you would realize that then you see now a lot more people speak up and speak out as to how and what they felt had gone wrong within the party. But once in power, everybody wants to either protect a job or try and gain favor, or those who do not even want to protect a job and try and gain favor are not even listened to because they are not seen as true party people.
Fred, just hold on. Let me conclude this conversation with Dr. Makwaba, and then I'll let you make your final, comments on it. Doc, sorry, forgive me, the line dropped, but as you're saying, there's more to it than what the committee came out with. But then, from where you sit, the party is also making some recommendations from this same report. What do you think the party can do in the region to, bring back the love, if I don't put it that way, for the MPP in the Ashanti region?
Well, I'm sure the party has done something, those who did the work. But if it is not how it should be done, then you should not take that report and run with it. You see, those who were in charge cannot be the ones who direct such affairs. They will gloss it over. Who's going to paint himself that he's a bad leader? So it's not a credible report. Nobody sanctioned it. There's not the National Council or anybody else. They did it themselves. So anybody can go and do his own report? No. So if this is so, the indiscipline in the party is still going on. Who gave him the chance, this authority to do this?
Doc, that point has been well made and is well understood. But then I'm just asking my final question: that how will the MPP, or how is the MPP supposed to act so that the party can get back the love from the Ashanti region going into the 2028 election?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. But if you are going to find out what happened, If you are not going about it the right way, how do you find out what happened? It means what you find out may not even be the case at all. So you do it deliberately, you see. There are so many people in this region, some are aggrieved. Divided, not just one thing. What happened? Oh, no. Those are aggrieved, policy, misalignment, hardship, divided in several the divisions, and you do a better job than bunching it all together and say this happened. It is not good. It's how we are doing it. Even that is not good. How do you come to the end of it? You want results? Yes, I know that. But this is the sort of thing you have to take your time to do properly. Otherwise, it's useless. You may as well not do it at all.
Doc, thank you very much for your time, as always. Thank you very much. Dr. Richard Amakoban is a former head of the Political Science Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, a political analyst. And he's also a member of the... He's also a member, yeah. He once contested, the national chairman of the MPP, but he was unsuccessful,
yes.
So he's also a member of the MPP. But for him, it is better that the party, conduct a credible,
yes.
a credible report. That credible report will be from Professor Michael Okwe's own. They were giving 3 months.
And we are told that it ends this month.
It ends this month. So by end of this month,
we are expecting a report.
The party will make the report. But I also understand, or what I hear from the party is that they may not make the entire report public. They may want to keep some aspect of it and just make some small announcement or little announcement. But then, as in releasing the entire report, I'm sure they want to learn from the Kwesi Botwe experience, but not releasing the entire report. So, Fred, the MPP.
We are with Professor.
We are waiting for that particular report. It's been another exciting edition of the Situation Room that came to you live from our studio here in Accra. My name is Sami Wiafi. I did this with Fred Tete Ijabano. Until we come your way again next week, may the good Lord be with us all.
Ago. It's that time of the year again. Welcome to the Back to Your Village Food Festival, as we introduce you to the different villages representing the ethnic spread across the country. A festival to celebrate our culinary diversity. Food, glorious food. And the cultural troops came out in full color. Minister is here paying glowing tributes and greetings to the royals that are seated in state. And he's gone through all the different groupings that are seated here, the northern, the Eber, the Akan, and the Ga states.
And now, we'll hear from the General Manager of Channel 1 TV and 97.3 City FM, who will introduce our special guest of honor.
Good afternoon to all of you who have joined us for the Back to Your Village Food Festival. Please put your hands together for yourselves. On behalf of the management of 90 FM and City Television, I want to welcome the Honorable Minister for Chieftaincy and Culture, the Honorable Stephen Asamoah Boateng. Put your hands together for him. Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, today's gathering is one such gathering. We are not here because we are different. We are here because we are similar. We are not here because our problems are over, but we are here because we've made progress as a people. And so today, the last 2 days of the month of March, City FM and City TV is bringing together Ghanaians from various cultures, various regions, to celebrate our difference in similarity, to celebrate our food, to celebrate our music, to celebrate our dance, to celebrate our fashion, and to celebrate our togetherness. Put your hands together for togetherness. So this program is a development program, and we are very happy that we have over 120 vendors of food from all over the country. Gathered here today are people from the Northern Village. Can you make some noise for the Northern Village? So you will have Tubani, you will have Tozavi, and Dawadawa Jollof all displayed behind you in the Northern Village. Northern Village, make some noise for me from the back. Wonderful. We also have the Middle Belt Village, where we have invited people from the Ashanti, Eastern, Bono regions. They have their fufu, ebunebunu, Nkatibe, Nkatikontobe. Where are the middle belt people? Make some noise for us. And of course, those of us from the Volta, those of us from the Greater Accra region, we are hosting and we are winning. So we have our Amadechi, our Akple, Ewokple, Bobby Tadi, Toto Pakpa. We also have Komike Kena. We even have Pekple. We have Aklo. Where are the guns? Can you make some noise for me this afternoon? The Back to Your Village Food Festival has moved from a bazaar to a festival. So as you can see, we have a delegation of representative chiefs. We have chiefs and people from the Middle Belt. Chiefs cannot wave, so make some noise for the chief. It's been hard. Our host is the rep of the Gamanche in red. They are very serious. We look forward to Homowo in August. And there's some very good Ghana food here. We also have our Awomefia representative in the person of our own Fred Duho. And of course, our Northern chiefs are also here. Honorable Minister has been a member of parliament before, many years ago. He's been minister of the sector that supervises what we are doing. Under the Kufuor time, he was the minister for tourism. Put your hands together. He's been very busy this week. We actually got him to leave Kwewu to come to Accra to celebrate the Back to Your Village Food Festival. And so those of you who assist, I want us to give him a standing ovation. Put your hands together for the great and juganistic Stephen Asamoah Boateng, aka Asabi.
I am the caretaker minister for tourism, arts and culture. which works very well with the Ministry of Chieftaincy as well. So, back to the village food festival. Clap for yourself, those who are here. It's been a very eventful program. I was asking Bernard, how long have you been doing this? And apparently, for the past 2 years, it's been a bazaar. And today, or this year, you've turned it into a festival. And there's been a caravan going around. I hear there are vendors here. It showcases the culture and the tradition of our nation, our country called Ghana. We are people of different backgrounds, diverse cultures, and we celebrate our diversity in unity. That's the beauty of the Ghanaian. In Ghana, we are very privileged to have a variety of food. And if you travel outside the country, even to the Southern African countries, you'll be struggling to find food to eat. But you come to Ghana, maybe Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, but don't forget they all came to Ghana and took it away. So we are proud as a people, and I am happy to be here. Indeed, so Bernard, I'll be part of this event anytime you call me, and I'll lend my support. I'm happy that you're all here. Enjoy yourselves. Take the best out of here from Ghana to where you came from, but also relate. Don't just come in and sample and go. Make sure you learn how to cook the food. Make sure you know how to prepare the food that you've eaten. And when you go, continue with it outside so that other people would also learn the Ghanaian way of life through food and our culture. Thank you very much.
Our special guest of honor was eager to tour all the food stands at the festival.
All right. So we move to TZ headquarters. This is our anchor vendor for the northern part of Ghana. And this is TZ headquarters. Linda, what do you have here?
Good evening, Honorable. You are most welcome. Want to portray our culture. Thank you too, sir. Thank you very much.
So we have a work claim. This work claim is a deme. It has a bit of cassava dough inside that goes with our ademe. Green. Yes. Then we have our prekese jollof rice. Yes. Very delicious.
Let me try it. Prekese with jollof. I love prekese.
I've never heard prekese jollof.
No, I have never heard of prekese jollof. I do prekese in soup and stew.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can drink it as well in warm water or something. But not jollof.
It's my first time.
I will try it and see.
Yeah.
It tastes different. Nice. It tastes different from what we are used to. And there's a variety. Thank you so much. I said you made money.
Interesting.
It tastes different.
Right. Hi. So this is Panadok. Okay. Right. So what do you have?
Here we have Aikula. We have Bake, Banku from the Volta region. Prepared with corn flour. Mixed with corn flour and cassava dough. We have, yes. But that's our Banku. Banku from the Volta region. And we have Alpokla. Alpo is prepared from the millets. Alpokla. We have Ademe. We have Bobitadi. We have Patridachi. We have Ademe and Ashidachi. We have Kokonte. All
right, okay.
There was music.
All right. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Cristo Tower. Cristo Tower, Cristo Tower, Mabudilo,
Okay, so this is T's Kitchen. Hello, T's Kitchen. What is on display?
Can you see them? What's this?
I have coconut, yes. You see the package?
Ruffalized apple. Apple is now in a...
No, Ghana is doing well.
I know,
yes.
I know.
And I have rice balls. I have banku and coconut. It's going with fetiri dechi. And then I have proper adamedechi. Okay. And then I have bobby tadi. Superb. Thank you. I'm confident of the food.
Say that again.
Proper adamedechi.
All right, okay. Hi, what do you have?
Okay, so we have our wet spices, then we have the dry spices, and then we have the raw herbs and spices at the other side.
What is that?
So I have the shrimp powder available, and then I have the stew mix also available. The best replacement for Maggi. You can use either this or this, and you are good to go. That in fact, where is Ruisa? Where are Wintia? But I.
This is what? Cut our schoolboys fish soup.
This is abobita, then this is ayikple. It's prepared with beans, yes. This is prepared with beans. Yes.
So it's like
green, yes, and with coconut juice.
So what is the difference between the ayikple and the jample?
So this doesn't have beans. The jample doesn't have beans, so it's made with, yes, exactly. But this has the coconut juice. The coconut juice, we use coconut juice and the beans with corn flour to prepare the ayikple. Yes, so it goes with the abobita.
All right, so this is Awo's Catering Services. Awo is an anchor vendor for the southern villages. It means that every meal from the southern part you will get here. Auntie Awo, yes. So what do we have here?
Oh, we have pekple, Agan traditional food, yeah.
You've not seen pekple anywhere?
Pekple. Yeah, pekple we don't sell. Gans don't sell pekple. It's for the festival. So today is a special occasion on our land. So I happen to prepare pekple so that will be served freely to in the background. That's the background, and then the background has got grouper, it's got all the firm fishes in the sea. That's expensive fish. So we've got okra, we've got garden egg, we've got ginger, granite soup. We've got the okra, that's from the southern. We've got amadechi, we have abobitadi, we have yakayaka and abolo.
So aisle 28 is our anchor vendor for the Akan village. It means you get everything Akan meal here, all the various soups. Hello, hi. So what do we have here?
Please, we have ebunebunu, we have goat soup, we have light soup, we have granite soup, we have ampesi with a bomb, we have angwamo with eggs and pepper. Yes. Yes.
With the sharp. Oh, that's good. Then the Nkrumani Bibi account, Emre, and then the Mrabao.
All right, so that's our anchor.
Yes, so we have Eto. Eto is. We have Prince. Yes. We have Ebunebunu. We have Yakayaka. We have light soup. We have granite soup. We have palm nut soup. And we have akrantie, we have bush, yes, all the bush meat, all the dry fishes you can think of. Yes.
All right, so this is A and F Delight. Yes, pretty much the same as what we've seen. So what is on display?
Yeah, we have abnabnu, tilapia, goats, akrantie, ochin, and abenkwan.
No, I person don't want to be and you bring, and you also do this as your business. You cook in Accra, and you have your North Kalishi. Okay, good. Keep it going, yeah.
This is the right man.
Remember, we did know them.
And then there was dance.
Ehono enye so no. Sa o sa bobo no wabo mu ase kra edu ho you Rofuna sa. Ube peja mu. Na to sa. Rofuna sa. Enke bobo me.
Hi, so what do you have?
So we have a but the rare is done. So we did a rare, palm nut soup, there's live soup, and with the there's snail, koto, we went the Akan way. Yes, and then there's fufu. We did cocoyam fufu as well. And then we did apathy. So that's somebody that we're serving. So that's the garden eggs abomo. Then we did a contour too.
I'm sure it's in the soup somewhere.
Somewhere you've hidden it.
Totobi.
What's Totobi?
Yes. Okay, and this is pork 101. Pork 101, what do you have? Honorable, the famous Kosianu Meku.
So we have fried pork, we have kelewele, we have fried yam, and kinky, and of course, Kosianu Meku.
Easy food, that's good. Thank you.
All right, okay. But we have the drinks village and the snacks village, local drinks, local snacks. So I think we should just take this route and also just see a few of the vendors there as well. What drinks do you have here?
We have cinnapine.
What?
Cinnapine. It's made of pineapple, ginger, and then cinnamon.
Oh, okay.
Yes, very nice. And then we have Sobolicious. Natural fruit juice. No, we don't mix any additives, yes. They are very nice.
And you can keep them in the fridge for a while. You don't have to drink it the same day. Okay. So you can preserve it. Good.
And they are called naked extract juice.
That's enough.
And we have the grills village too there. All there. It's only for 2 days. Hello. So what is going on here? What do we have here?
Okay, so we have chicken wings, we have drumsticks, we have sausage, we have pork.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
And this is what?
What is this?
This is pork.
Oh, wow.
Good. And that's good. They're local pork. You rear them yourselves or you go and buy them? You purchase them. Why don't you go into rearing the pigs? It's a farming. It's good though.
I think that would be a good.
It's good business. Try it, you see.
So this is our eating area. You buy your food, you come and sit down here, you eat.
Can't we do this where...
Okay, this is Ejo Enterprise. Hello, Ejo. What do we have here?
We have tiger nut milk and tiger nut with ginger, and we have alasa juice too.
Alasa juice?
Yes, please.
Wow.
So what
It's just the raw tiger nut. Yes, please. This one is a raw alasa.
Sesame in Labadi Beach. I think they were even serving it. Okay, but this one... That's good. People can make money out of these simple things. You do yourself and you supply to shops. So it's a regular thing and it's... Keep it up, okay?
And this is a favorite of everybody, Abele Delight. I mean, it will give you childhood memories, I know. Abele Delight.
Abele.
I thought one would be ready for us.
Abele was.
Please, there it is. The best ice cream in the whole country. Yes. What you're having is a coconut flavored one.
As I'm eating, I'm thinking of going to shed it tomorrow morning.
Oh, you will. The sun will even burn everything for you.
There you go.
It's good, right?
Authentic and Ghanaian.
So the ice cream is made from...
It's made from pure milk, and we've infused it with coconut to make it healthier. Yes. And you realize that the milk, the sugar content is
very low, yeah.
Exactly. So it's good for everyone. Like our tagline says, for young and old, everybody can have it.
We should pitch you against the Italians making ice cream.
Exactly.
They claim they do the best ice cream.
No.
They should come and try it.
The best. The best is right here.
I'll tell the Italian ambassador. We won a competition.
That's right. And we'll win hands down.
Okay, Wala Africa Limited. Hello, Wala.
Hello.
Right, so what do you have?
We do lemongrass juice. You know the traditional lemongrass? We call it fever grass. Yeah, so we use it to prepare healthy juice. We have 3 flavors. We have the regular, we have the prekese, and then we have the ginger.
Oh no, but your prekese is here again.
Yeah. So this is lemongrass.
Yeah, lemongrass juice. And it's all natural. There's no sugar. There's no chemical in it.
That's good.
So how long can this stay on the shelf for?
So this can be in your fridge for 12 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
But when you open it, it must consume.
When you open it, you have to. It's just 350 ml. So
Yeah, that's why it's
Thank you, Sunday. Now Monday, Monday, join us. Monday, join us. Monday, join us. Oh,
And then, party time.
Thank you, Monday. Now Tuesday, Tuesday, join us. Tuesday, join us. Tuesday, join us. Tuesday, join us. Hey, Obiara, ya on Tuesday. I'm sorry. Obiara, ya on Tuesday. I'm sorry. La 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 la. Hey, it's Tuesday. Obiara, ya on Tuesday. I'm sorry. Obiara, ya on Tuesday. I'm sorry. La 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 la. Tuesday, do your dance. Tuesday, salsa. Tuesday, salsa. Tuesday, salsa. Tuesday, salsa. Tuesday. Thank you, Tuesday. Wednesday, Wednesday, join us. Wednesday, hey, Wednesday, Wednesday. Oh, Yara, I have on Wednesday. I'm sorry. Oh, Yara, I have on Wednesday. I'm sorry. La 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 la. Oh, Yara, I have on Wednesday. I'm sorry. Yara, I have on Wednesday. I'm sorry. La 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 la. All right. All right. Thursday. It's a Thursday. Oh, Yara, I have on a Thursday. I'm sorry. Oh, Yara, I have on a Thursday. I'm sorry. La 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 la. It's a Thursday. Oh, Yara, I have on a Thursday. I'm sorry. Oh, Yara, I have on a Thursday. I'm sorry. La 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 la. Sawasa, Thursday, Sawasa. It's Friday, oh Yara, I want a Friday, I'm going to, I'm sorry, oh Yara, I want a Friday, I'm going to, I'm sorry, la 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 la. It's a Friday, oh Yara, I want a Friday, I'm going to, I'm sorry, oh Yara, I want a Friday, I'm going to, I'm sorry, la 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 la. It's a Friday, do your dance, Friday, do your dance, Friday, do your dance, Friday, do your dance, Friday, do your dance. On a Saturday, I'm going to, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, right, on a Saturday, I'm going to, I'm sorry. La 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 la. It's a Saturday, oh, yeah, right, on a Saturday, I'm going to, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, right, on a Saturday, I'm going to, I'm sorry. La 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 la. Saturday, do your dance, 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 Saturday.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world, Piva Drink adds a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva cocktail and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
P for Piva.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hello, this is Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. Coming up in the bulletin, President John Dramani Mahama threatens to shut down state-owned enterprises that continue to make losses. Also coming up, Minority in Parliament criticizes the 2025 budget, describing it as misleading. In business, Bank of Ghana gets new board of directors, and later in sports, Tyne MP indicates new National Sports Authority boards faces time constraints for reforms. I am Charles Osukumi. Let's now settle for the details of our stories. We begin from the presidency, where the President John Dramani Mahama has warned that state-owned enterprises making losses will face merger or shutdowns. President Mahama expressed this concern over the continued financial drain caused by unprofitable state-run businesses, noting that the development burdens the nation's economy. Speaking at a meeting with the CEOs, the president called for enterprises to run more efficiently.
Conduct regular in-depth assessments of SOE finances, ensuring transparency and exposing mismanagement. 3. Issue binding directives, implement compliance mechanisms, and intervene directly in underperforming entities. 4. Commission independent audits to identify inefficiencies and financial leakages. And 5, set and monitor performance metrics with tangible consequences for non-performance. Loss-making SOEs will no longer be tolerated. They will be swiftly reformed, they will be merged, privatized, or shut down.
Now, the president also threatened to dismiss chief executive officers who underperform.
The reports we would look at next year will be the report for 2024. So really your performance will show when we do the 2026 review, that will show for 2025. And I'm going to come and sit in that review and we will mark you based on your performances. And if you're not matching with the pace of the reset agenda, you might be asked to step aside.
Let's now head to Parliament, where the minority has criticized the 2025 budget presented by the Finance Minister, Dr. Kasiola Teforsin, describing it as misleading. According to addressing journalists, the ranking member on the Finance Committee of Parliament, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, argued that a 49.2 billion Ghana cedis expenditure claim added to the fiscal data by the Finance Minister was erroneous and deliberately framed to paint the Akufo-Addo administration in a bad light.
The government, through the 2025 budget statement, churned out fiscal deficit on commitment basis of 7.6% of GDP and a primary deficit of 3.6% of GDP. This would imply, if you look at them on their face value, that the MPP administration mismanaged the fiscals. in accord with the intentions of the NDC government. In fact, an economy with such strong revenue performance and expenditure controls, as we have seen from the data the minister presented, cannot produce the kind of elevated fiscal outcomes the minister announced. We see a lot of contradictions there. And this, we are very confident, will be exposed.
Still in Parliament, the ad hoc committee set up to investigate the chaos that ensued during an appointments committee vetting session will present its report to Parliament next week. Confusion broke the appointments committee sitting on the night of Thursday, January 30, when members of the minority and majority caucuses clashed over the vetting of Minister of Health Kwabena Mintah Kando and Minister for Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. Following the brawl, Speaker Alban Bergman set up a committee to probe the incident. Despite the minority abstaining from the committee's work, Chairman Emmanuel Kwesi-Bedra confirmed to Channel 1 News that the report is ready for submission to plenary on Tuesday, March 18. In some more news, government has announced plans to reduce the cost of ordinary passports from 500 Ghana cedis to 350 Ghana cedis in the coming days. The over 25% reduction, according to the government, seeks to make passports accessible to all citizens while maintaining high security standards. The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, made the announcement while answering questions on the floor of Parliament.
Right, Honourable Speaker, the government recognizes concerns about the affordability of the new passport and is committed to ensuring that the cost remains reasonable while maintaining high security standards. In our efforts to make passports more accessible to all Ghanaians, and per instructions I have received from His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, we are pleased to announce a reduction in the cost of the ordinary passport booklet, that is the 32-page booklet, from the 500 Ghana cedis to 350 Ghana cedis. We will in the coming days be presenting an amendment to the fees and charges to ensure that this reduction is approved by the House.
Again, the Foreign Affairs Minister, Okudzeto Ablakwa, has disclosed that 50 out of a total of 150 Ghanaians in the United States have received final deportation orders to return to Ghana by mid-year. The minister stated that 3 Ghanaians have already been processed for deportation by April 1, 2025. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa made this known while briefing Parliament on the situation.
Currently, there are 150 Ghanaians in detention across various centers in the U.S. who are awaiting deportation for crimes such as rape, internet fraud, and illegal entry. None of the affected Ghanaians are in detention as we speak. 50 out of the 150 individuals have received final deportation orders from the courts. Their deportation is expected to take place by mid-year, mid-2025. The remaining 100 cases are either under appeal or have been dismissed. Representations have been made to U.S. authorities on behalf of one Ghanaian on the grounds of ill health, and he has been released to seek medical care. 3 Ghanaians have also been processed.
You are still watching Newsfeed here on Channel 1 TV. I am Charles Osukumi. Still ahead in the bulletin, government urged to revamp fight against illegal mining. You'll stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
On Footprints this Friday, we continue our conversation with Professor A.C. Sutherland Addy as she shares insights into her time as Secretary for Education under the PNDC.
How did you end up in PNDC?
I got
appointed, it was a very disconcerting experience.
You are appointed on radio.
Yes, absolutely, and also disappointed on radio. So in the time when the revolution, had come into place, we felt that there had to be a complete change of attitude on the campuses. For example, we didn't see why the universities shouldn't have their farms producing so that we can all buy and we can feed the students from there and so on. There was that whole sort of idea, maybe idealistic, but idea that the universities could help fend for themselves.
It was good thinking.
My mother made it very clear to everybody that the park couldn't be taken for anything. And apparently people became extremely terrified of her. I mean, you couldn't, because some people wanted to build a casino on the park, all kinds of things. And she just said, no, this is the park for children.
Footprints airs every Friday at 7 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. I am Charles Osukumi. Let's bring you some more stories now. The Eastern Regional Security Council has served notice of revocation of mining licenses of all small, medium and large-scale mining companies who failed to reclaim mined lands. This warning comes after the death of 3 miners who got drowned in mining pits in the region within a week. The closed-door meeting, we understand, has come to a close, and our man on the grounds, Neil Niamate Kanaku, joins us via telephone to give us further details about this meeting. Hello, Kanaku. Good to have you here on Newsfeed. What else are you getting from this meeting that happened today?
Thank you very much, Charles. So this was an emergency meeting held between the Regional Security Council, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Minerals Commission, and all small-scale, medium, and large mining companies in the Eastern region. Now, this meeting became very necessary following the death of 3 miners in the region. Now, last week, a 14-year-old gentleman lost his life when he went swimming in a mining pit, abandoned mining pit around the Buedia area in the Denchembo district. Now, just yesterday, we received unfortunate news about the passing of 2 kids who went swimming in a mine pit together with 2 others. Now, these kids their bodies were retrieved and sent to the hospital, but unfortunately 2 of them lost their lives. So this made the Regional Security Council to call this meeting. Now, the Regional Security Council has served a notice to all these miners, including large-scale mining companies in the region, that it will not hesitate but channel processes to engage their bosses to ensure that their mining license are revoked. Now, they term them as that if they are not able to reclaim all these mine areas, then it means it's going to be a danger to not only the miners themselves, but even residents and school kids who use mostly those areas to go to school. Now, they've also served notice that the task force, which was inaugurated just last week, are going to come on the grounds, and they will not also hesitate to ensure that they clamp down on every single activity being it illegal in those areas. Now, this meeting was taken part by a number of people, including Newmont, which happens to be one of the largest mining companies in the region, and Nawara, Kibi Goldfields, and other mining companies in the region. Okay. Now, the notice has also been served that all those culpable in this illegality, that is those mining around water bodies and then even in the forest reserves, they are going to be chased away. The Regional Security Council is really determined to ensure that they get rid of all illegal activities in the Eastern region as we speak.
All right, Kanako, before you go, the Eastern region seems to be gaining notoriety for illegal mining and what we refer to as galamsey. Just paint a brief picture for us what the situation looks like over there.
So over the years we've been doing reports on several incidents in the region with regards to illegal mining. Now, as we speak, the areas, that is the Osino area, the Begro areas, you go to the Akwatia area, you go to the Chebi areas, all these places are being mined as we speak now. Now, even though the Eastern Regional Security Council are determined to ensure that all these places they ensure that they step foot in these particular areas to ensure that these illegal miners go back from these areas. They are also claiming that their livelihoods are at stake. Just 2-3 weeks ago, we had the burning of 4 excavators at Obuohun in the Ayinswano district. Okay. Now, this goes a long way to tell you that illegal mining still persists in the eastern region, and all hands are really needed on deck to ensure that the region is freed from illegal mining.
All right, I'm grateful to you. Nilnia Kanaku is our Eastern Regional Correspondent. Let's still stay on illegal mining and its impact. In the Ashanti region now, we're told that it has contributed to an increase in kidney diseases at the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital. Consultant nephrologist at the hospital, Dr. Elliot Cranting Tanner, reveals that kidney disease burden at the Komfanoche Teaching Hospital has increased by 4 times in the last decade. He added that more than 70% of patients reporting of kidney failure die. He has therefore called on the government to ramp up efforts at combating the menace. He spoke on the sidelines of the World Kidney Day celebration in Kumasi.
The numbers are growing up. I have not spoken about the issue of galamsey, of course, with all the mercury that we are all exposed to. So these are the things that we all need to worry about as a country. And the Ashanti regional numbers that we have is the fact that we did some study in Komfanoche where we realized that over the past 10 years, the kidney disease burden has actually increased by 4 times. All right. So when you talk about people who have come in on admission and people who have come in on OPD, about 4 times and about 3 times. The worrying aspect is that over 70% of them will come in kidney failure, where like they need dialysis like yesterday. When probably if we had picked them earlier, we would have prevented that. All right. So that's another thing that is very important. The worrying aspect is that the majority of them will end up dying on admission. So the data we have in Komfanoche is such that when they come in on admission, about 30% of them will die on admission.
However, illegal mining, a rainstorm that lasted for about 30 minutes in the late hours of Wednesday, March 12, 2025, has caused severe destruction to the girls' dormitory of the Northern School of Business, Nobisco, in Tamale, leaving over 1,000 students displaced. The storm, accompanied by strong winds and minimal rainfall, ripped off parts of the roof, exposing students to harsh weather conditions. With the dormitories already struggling with overcrowding, the destruction has forced students to move into unaffected rooms, further exacerbating the situation. The headmaster of Nobisco, Alhassan Issa Dokrugu, has been speaking to Channel 1 News.
The most hit portion of the school is the girls' dormitory. A dormitory accommodating over 1,000 students. The roof of the dormitory got ripped off. Ceilings dropping, electrical wirings exposed everywhere. As a result of the small shower that came, mattresses got soaked, books got spoiled. And immediately we were displaced. We had to think of what to do to be able to accommodate the affected students.
Now, broadcast journalist and media personality Kofi Adoma has spoken for the first time since a musketry firing incident that allegedly impacted his eye. The incident happened during a festival in December. Here's Kofi Adoma narrating the incident.
At least. Into whom I'm anywhere, but not a transparent. And about was you said when in a corner, I we know, as same way so the young person media for Betty, one shall not your time for any. And Tisadia, Obito, anywhere between two, be what she had young coho, not young concussion, you call any mammy back home. And I'm at the share. Now, miss you, any young quine feel, Namin conqueror. See, through her, say, Panya and I woman a pain or form cacram, you shall anywhere yet to media. Mekatamani could be a Musa Macatamani, meet me a Jumana cacra. If you say na Maria taso say afahye no meye mafamu de bia e de aboa me kodru ahemfie ho mantimi ansi fo.
This is still Newsfeed on Channel 1 TV. Up next is business with Netele Nete Ajao. Hello, Netele.
Hello, Charles.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
What's in business?
The Bank of Ghana, the new board has been inaugurated, and they have been tasked to ensure that they introduce policies that would ensure that the pressing economic challenges are checked, like inflation.
I told you they're asking for a bailout from government.
Yeah. So
all right, give us
let's see what they
details.
say. Okay. The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, has reaffirmed the bank's commitment to excellence, transparency, and independence in monetary and financial policies. Speaking at the inauguration of the new board of directors on Thursday, he emphasized the critical role of the central bank in addressing the country's pressing economic challenges. He also noted that the newly appointed board is tasked with guiding the bank's policy direction to restore confidence, uphold price stability, and reinforce good governance.
The role of the Bank of Ghana has never been more critical. We stand at a time of significant economic challenges, which are macroeconomic instability, rising inflationary pressures, currency volatility, and fiscal constraints, all of which demand urgent and strategic action. This board, Your Excellency, composed of esteemed professionals with vast expertise, is tasked with guiding the bank's policy direction and ensuring that we navigate these challenges with boldness, integrity, and accountability. Our mission is clear, Your Excellency. We must restore confidence in the Bank of Ghana. We must uphold price stability, and we must strengthen our financial position and reinforce good governance.
Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman has also called for a review of the bank's existing policies to ensure they align with modern financial practices.
To lead the President's social contract with the people of Ghana to reset, rebuild, and restore public trust and macroeconomic stability through responsive financial sector governance and sound economic policies rests on your shoulders. As the board, and in equal manner as to the cabinet, Minister of Finance and others, and everyone in key places, I'm convinced that you will bring your individual and collective expertise to the governance of the bank to ensure that the President's economic agenda of resetting the country is achieved. I urge you to examine the existing policies of the bank to ensure that such policies are aligned with leading contemporary policies, and more importantly, that the policies are aligned to the government's social contract with the people. Again, Governor.
Now, the Africa Center for Energy Policy has cautioned Ghana against borrowing strategies that could push the country toward unsustainable debt levels. This comes after a study on China's lending strategy and its impact on Ghana's debt sustainability. Policy analyst with ASEP Mohammed Sani Osman, speaking with Channel 1 Business, stressed the need for Ghana to move away from short-term borrowing measures to prevent recurring IMF bailouts.
We sought to highlight the impact of these Chinese lending agreements that Ghana had with China. And also a very key characteristic was the fact that Chinese lending had an impact on our natural resources, because we saw that some of these agreements actually were collateralized with natural resource reserves, like the Sino Hydro project, which was collateralized with bauxite reserves, and also other loans that we contracted collateralized with receipts from the oil and gas sector. So these were the key issues we sought to highlight from our research. and also to put forth some recommendations as to how we can fund infrastructure projects in Ghana without having to go through the unsustainable routes, such as taking loans from China at very short, or more stringent terms, leading to long-term debt unsustainability.
And that's all for business. I am Nete Ajaho.
Next is sports with Bernard Abekuotre. How are you?
I'm fine. You're good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I see you have a lot of lists on your
screen. You told
script.
me that by close of this
Black
week,
Stars? Yeah.
the Black Stars squad will be
so
out.
we have to tomorrow to confirm
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when the games
I've been finding out this afternoon why the list is still not out, and there's no clear answer. So I indicate again that the list is with the FA now. The FA is always careful as to when to release the squad. They want to sort of calm tempers down and not, they know the media goes calm a bit getting into the weekend. So putting it on Friday probably may be the magic for them.
All right, but what's in your bulletin today?
Well, we have a new National Sports Authority director in Yampo Ankara. You love the idea?
That's my guy, so.
Let's get into it then. Right now, member of the Parliamentary Select Committee for Youth and Sport, NMP, for the Tyne constituency, Adama Sulemana, believes that the newly appointed Director General of the National Sports Authority, Yampo Ankara, has limited time to implement critical reforms for Ghanaian sport. Sulemana praised President John Dramani Mahama for appointing the seasoned sports journalist, describing the National Sports Authority's role as vital for the nation's sport development. He noted that the committee will soon present a report from the sitting held during the 8th Parliament, where key stakeholders, including the National Sports Authority, provided insight following the Save Ghana Sports Movement's successful protest on February 14, 2024.
Actually recommended. So it's also good we have a new Director General of the NAC. He needs to also take a look at the reports and assess the issues with NAC, because they are the linchpin. They are the ones who link all the stakeholders, all the various disciplines and the ministry together. So I believe it's a critical area. So we thank the President for the swift action in bringing in a new person. We are just hoping that we have a collaboration between the NSA and the committee and the ministry itself to be able to get the best out of our sports infrastructure and sports interventions. Yeah, our brother is a seasoned sports journalist. I mean, he has worked in the media space for a very long time, went to BBC, came back, has headed, is it the beach soccer? Yes. So, I mean, he's not only a football person. And they say it's not only about football, it's about all the other disciplines. So I think the president could not have made a better choice than Yampo Ankara. I believe he will bring changes to the NSA, because that's, and because he's a political appointee, he has not gotten a lot of time. He has very limited time to make an impact. So as the workers there, the permanent workers there, those who have tenure of office, as they can relax, he cannot relax. So I'm sure he'll put in the maximum work to bring Ghana sports to the level that the president desires.
Let's now shift our attention to a club Charles Osukumi loves. Manchester United's head coach Ruben Amorim has reaffirmed his long-term vision for the club, insisting he needs more than 2.5 years to deliver. His comment comes as United's co-owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has publicly criticized the performance of several high-profile players, including Casemiro, Anthony, Jadon Sancho, and Andre Onana. Despite the struggles, he has received backing from the club's leadership, with Omar Bayarda, United's CEO, reportedly stating that he wants Amorim to be in charge when the club moves into its newly planned stadium.
A very good feeling, but I felt that support and I listened that in every match.
because winning or losing, they are there in the dressing room, talking about the game, the future, to be calm. So I always felt that support, but to hear that support publicly is a different thing. But we need to win games, and when you are a coach, no matter who you are, when you arrive here, you don't have the idea of being here for a while and then move on. You just want to continue. I have that feeling, and every coach that arrives here just think about continue to in this club. You imagine the future, like you see the stadium, but it's more than that. It's the future of the club, where we are going to be in the future. It's an amazing stadium. More space for more people, because we are a massive club, but it's in 5 years, I think, maybe 6, maybe 7, I don't know. So we need to focus on the present, and the present is to improve the team and to win games.
Well, that's the very latest from the world of sports, and I am Bernard Abekochi.
And that'll be all for this package of news feed on Channel One TV. I am Charles Osukumi. Thank you for watching.
What's cooking? You're very welcome to What's Cooking right here on Channel One TV. My name is Apioko Seyiram Ashong Abe. But for today, you can call me Mami Efua Adaziwa. And as you can see, we're going to Fantiland. But I'll tell you later what we're going to cook. I have my papa with me, you know, my fan. So which means we're going to do it the local way. But let me thank our sponsors, Tasty Tom, Ufa Kakra, Na Aye Bebre. And Tasty Tom, we've always known them for their tomato paste, which has brought a lot of joy into the Ghanaian kitchen. But now they have other things to offer. There's a beef seasoning, a shrimp seasoning, a jollof mix, a chicken seasoning, a stew mix. So look out for that. Try it. You will not regret it. I can promise you that. And then let's say a thank you to Kivo pepper as well. And Kivo pepper is extremely potent, let me warn you, but it does the job. But Kivo has other things that they also have in their range. We have the rosemary powder, there's a ginger and a rosemary mix, ginger and onion mix. I mean, all sorts of interesting things that Kivo is doing. And they also have now something that they've done with curry powder. And it's the very first official Ghanaian spice blend with curry that we have. So go look for that and try it as well. And last but not the least, let me say thank you to Susie Herbal Center for supporting What's Cooking, supporting the show, bringing their magic here to the show. And don't forget Heritage Month. So we're celebrating all things Ghanaian. We're going back to our roots. We're just exploring what it means to be Ghanaian, what it has meant to be Ghanaian. And we're making sure that we understand what all of that means, what it brings to bear, so that in the future we can carry that legacy on for our children and our grandchildren and our grandchildren's children and all that. Amen. All right. So let's go for a break. When we come back, I'll let you know what we're cooking. But can you guess? We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is still What's Cooking right here on Channel 1 TV. My name is Apioko. Now, if you're just joining us, I said for the purposes of today, for this episode, my name is Mami Ifwa Adezuwa. All right? And yeah, you can call me that. Tweet at me, I'll be very happy to respond. I'm feeling myself. But there's a reason why the fancy woman in me is coming out, is boiling and spilling over. And allow me to introduce my guest. She's coming to make a very special meal, which is quintessentially fancy. We are making fancy, I mean literally fancy with etzel, all right? So I'm going to invite my guest. And we actually brought her all the way from Fancyland. Can you imagine? So allow me to introduce Dr. Alberta Bonzi Simpson. Now, she's a very special lady, okay? She works with the University of Cape Coast. She works at the University of Cape Coast, specifically at the Department of Hospitality and Tourism Management. But what makes her extra special, because we love UCC, is the fact that she's the author of this book, Serving Ghana. Now, it is the only standard recipe book in the world that documents, I mean, we have pamphlets, and I'm going to explain what I'm saying, that we have pamphlets and coffee table books and whatnot that have Ghanaian recipes, but this is a standard cookbook worldwide, okay, international standard, called Serving Ghana, and it documents 70 plus everyday Ghanaian indigenous recipes for hospitality with step-by-step instructions. And it's brilliant. I love her for it. She spent years documenting and researching everything that you find in here. So allow me to welcome Dr. Alberta Bonzi Simpson, who I call Prof. She is really Prof.
You had to say
I just had to. You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. And
I'm happy
look,
to be here.
You know I'm stealing this, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Haven't I given you one already?
No.
Okay.
No. The ones you gave to me, we had to push them and sell them, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
send them. So this one, I'm
This one is a personal one.
It's a personal one.
I
You're
see.
welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, Doc. How
For
are
the
you doing?
purposes of this fancy program, I'm also Ifwa Andowa.
Ifwa Andowa. Oh, so you see, that's why we gel.
You
Friday
see?
mornings, I like it. And your hair is herring.
Can you imagine?
Locks, like...
I wasn't able to convince you to do it.
It's like locks, dead-del. Is that what you say?
Fairfield.
Oh, love it. Love it. So, Doc, thank you for joining us. I know you're very busy. I know you have students of all levels, bachelor students, masters, PhD, who will see and be like, hey, this prof, she hasn't finished marking our papers and she's on TV. But it's for a good cause, okay? The things that she does also help to enrich her knowledge and scope to make her the best supervisor for your PhD thesis, I can tell you that. Fancy. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Okay, so originally, the dish was developed by fishermen.
Okay.
And there are different versions of this dish. Traditionally, it's apofanto.
Apofanto.
So what they do is, when they go to sea, they take some of the fish, grind tomato, onions, and pepper, and pour it on it, cook it, and then eat it with gari or kinky or whatever.
So this is similar to the ga aklo.
Probably. I'm not too familiar with that. And then there is also another one known as intiti.
Intiti?
Yes, that one uses smaller sized fishes.
Okay.
So it's called intiti. And this one is fancy. And this fancy is nraba. Fancy na yerbayan and then raba for ones and the kind that social media like to bash.
So just to put it, those who don't understand fancy, says the fancy we're going to make, it's it's the one for ladies, almost slay queen, but not quite.
I like that.
Almost, but not quite. I love it. So let's get into it.
Okay, so it's a very simple dish and it goes with etzel, fancy kenke, sometimes gari, whatever you can find, or even rice.
And etzel is similar to banku.
Etso is similar to banku, but it is without the cassava dough. Right. So it's just the corn dough. It's just the corn dough.
So that's also very similar to the Ghana banku.
Yes. Yes. So this is the basic tomato sauce. But this time around, we are not using oil, bleached oil. We are using palm oil.
Okay.
I would, as I said, I would want to cut everything, all the ingredients that we have. But we have a paste of garlic, ginger, and onions.
Okay. Garlic, ginger, onions.
Yes.
Okay.
Just
the garlic and ginger we know.
Garlic and ginger.
This is not ginger or garlic that has been to university. It's a normal one that we know.
Yes, we want the local ones. And I want us to note at this point that fish is a very delicate meat to cook with because it doesn't have too much flavor on its own when it is cooked. So you don't want to overpower it with seasoning.
Okay.
The seasoning must blend into the fish so that you taste the fish and not the seasoning. And basically that's what we are going to try to do. Okay. For me to use these tomatoes, I'm going to blanch it. I'm going to blanch it. And what that means is that I will just drop the tomatoes, a couple of the tomatoes that I am going to use into the saucepan and then pour hot water on it.
Okay.
And it has to be boiling water. It has to be boiling water. My water here is not too hot. I will put it back on my fire just for 2 seconds to warm.
Okay.
Yeah. Just for 2 seconds to heat up the water again. Okay. And the essence of this is to make it easy for me to skin the tomatoes. As I said, this one is ladies fancy, so we don't want the skin and the seeds in the tomatoes. And for it to be easy for us to peel the tomatoes, I will blanch it. And blanching it basically is putting it in hot water, covering it, softening it a bit, and then peeling it.
Take off that.
Exactly. Whilst we do that, we will cut onions and peppers ready for the tomatoes. So we are going to basically cook red oil stew.
Okay. Red oil stew, that's basically what it is.
But for our fish, I am going to season my fish because I want the fish to be tasty, very tasty.
A rubber fancy has to be tasty.
It has to be very tasty. So I am going to season my fish.
Okay. So what are we using for the seasoning?
As I said, I want very mild natural seasoning. So I'm just going to use the ginger, garlic, onion, and pepper paste.
Okay.
And then I will add a taste enhancer.
Okay.
So you can use any taste enhancer of your choice.
All right, then let's use the Tasty Tom shrimp since we're doing fish. It's from the same source.
Sure.
From the sea. Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to know the quantity that I should take.
Okay.
Can I have some salt?
Yes, of course.
So, as I said, fish is very delicate in taste, so you don't want to overpower it. So as you can see, I just poured just a little taste enhancer. Then I will add my salt. If you don't do this and you put the fish, I know some people put the fish straight into the stew and the fish will absorb the flavors or the taste of the stew. But that also limits the tastiness of the fish. So I like to season it a bit, not too much, a bit.
So we should romance the fish small. We should give it its own pride and joy before we put it in the stew.
Exactly.
Let me just take this plate away.
So I'll marinate the fish in these spices.
Okay, I'm back. You know you're cooking in our local kitchens. If you leave anything that attracts flies, we are in trouble. So
I'm trying so hard to do it naturally.
To do it naturally.
If you've not seen your mom do that one before, then you probably haven't seen her cook
so
before.
Prof, she's used to training hospitality, tourism experts. So you can't be in a professional kitchen and be, looking and dabbing.
But it's part of our culture.
But we are also
It's part of
enjoying our culture. We are reminiscing and trying to bring back some of the nostalgia as well today. So it's fine. We are all set.
So whilst I am doing this, I will transfer my fish into the pot and I will bring it to the boil slightly. Okay. And this is to infuse and lock the seasoning in the fish. It does two things. It makes it more tasty and it also drains or brings out the natural water that is in the fish. If you don't do this and you put the fish straight into your stew, then you would have to let the stew cook longer
because
so
of the water content will
you
now
can evaporate the water. And fish has very little connective tissue. So the longer you cook it, the more it disintegrates. Don't add any water, please. Okay. The natural waters from the fish will do the trick.
Alrighty. Wonderful.
Akioko, the fish is your
it's my business.
Make sure it doesn't burn.
Yes, please. So if the fish burns, that's on me. So Doc, what are we doing next?
So now I'm waiting for my tomato to cool up a bit because I have to hold it and peel the skin. So whilst I'm waiting, I'm going to dice my onions for the stew.
Okay. Looks glorious.
As I said, when you blanch the tomatoes, you will see the skin already peeling. So easy. This you don't have to waste. You can put this aside and blend it with your pepper and put it back into the stew.
Okay.
If you have fish in the fridge and you come back home late, you can easily whip this up. You don't even have to turn on your blender. Just peel it, cut tomatoes, cut onions, and it's a very healthy meal for the whole family. You can add rice, you can add gari, you can add kenke, you can make etzel if you have the time. If you don't, you can leave it at that. If you have smaller children who are not so used to eating fish, you can fillet the fish, but that has to be a bigger fish because smaller ones may have bones that you are not able to take out. So if you fillet the big fish, and the big fish also holds better, they will last a little longer before they disintegrate.
So your children, like I know you're a mother of twins.
Yes.
Did they like this when they were younger?
Yes, depending on the kind of fish
now
I
they are
used.
adults.
They are adults. Depending on the kind of fish I use. If I use a bigger fish and I season it well, they like it. If I use smaller fishes with bones in it,
then they
don't
forget
like it. Yes.
Interesting.
And intiti can be very bony. It is eaten by professional fancies.
I like that. I like that.
And then I also, when you come into my freezer, you would find palm nut that has been pounded, deseeded, and just sitting in Ziploc bags in the freezer.
Ready to go.
So when I can prepare palm nut soup after work, I just pick it, put my meat and other with other spices on the stove, bring it to the boil, make sure it is soft, add my hot water to my palm nuts, then put it in. I have my palm nut soup.
How do you say palm nut soup in Fanti?
Abienkwan.
Abienkwan.
Abe. If you have a husband who doesn't eat food in the fridge, let me show you the trick.
Tell me, because some of us
you have your red oil stew portioned into bits in the freezer. Then you have a little boiled okra, a little boiled garden eggs, a little chopped kontomire, all in zip bags there. So you come back from work, you just take one portion of your oil stew, put it in the bowl.
One portion of okra.
Please. And then you would have your steamed meat or whatever he likes to eat, all of them cooked already and packed in bits and pieces. The trick is to do it, pack it in portions.
Okay.
So that you don't eat and go and restore, eat and go and restore. So you pick your meat, put it on fire, add your stew, add your kontomire, you have kontomire stew. Pick your stew, add your meat, add your okra, you have your okra stew. And he will see you cooking and he won't know how you did it in 5 minutes.
And he will give you funds.
And he will give you funds.
I love it.
So that is what I do. And it always comes out fresh rather than cooking in bulk, everything fully cooked in bulk and stored. So that also works.
That's a million cedi tip right there. Yeah, so should we pay you royalties for this?
Please. You can actually chop your pepper stew. You just have to pick it and then cut it around the seeds. So you see, that's my pepper without seeds.
Ah, that's it.
Yeah, and I can chop it.
So then you also reduce the heat in terms of the hotness.
Yes, I can chop it. I'm just showing this as an example. I'm not going to put it in because I already have blended pepper. So you can actually chop this like that and add it to your stew.
And that's it.
Without blending it, yes. And add it to the stew.
Interesting.
If not, you can add it to all pepper.
So again,
to all
when there's
the
no
skin and
light,
the seeds and blend it.
When power fails you or eludes you,
this is it.
This is it.
Can I have another saucepan for the stew?
Okay. So please, we need another saucepan so we can start the stew. I think there's one over there. Let me bring it. But I'm really, you see, I didn't disappoint you, Doc. I didn't disappoint you.
You've done a beautiful job. Thank
you
you so much. You've done a beautiful job. So I am going to take my fish out. As you can see, it is whole. It is steamed and very flavorful and tasty. I still have some of the spices in the pan and I want it to be that way.
Okay.
Because I am going to put my squid in the pan.
Sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
Alright.
I'm going to put my squid in the pan and go through the same process.
Okay.
That fire is not lighting.
No.
So
you wanted to start the stew?
Yes, I'll start the stew. Okay. But I wanted to...
okay, so I'll put... Okay, so the squid is going right. And again, no water.
No water,
okay,
just the spices.
Okay, so we'll just top up a bit. Because we have some of the spices in there. So this is our pepper, ginger, garlic. Okay.
And then a little of our tasty tom shrimp.
Okay.
Just a little.
All right. Do we need salt?
No.
No. There may be a bit of salt in
exactly. But it's going to go into the sauce.
Okay.
And I'll put everything in it before I put salt.
Okay.
This is how I measure it. So.
Literally a pinch of salt. Our
Yes.
fire is nice and hot.
Is it? Is it? Okay. Now that it's coated, I can cover it a bit.
Okay, so we should cover it.
Okay. So as I already said, with etil, there is no cassava dough. It's just the corn dough. So this is our corn dough. And you would want to take enough into your saucepan or your pot. In this case, I like to mix it a little bit firm so that I would have the opportunity to put a lot of hot water on it and allow it to cook. Yes, because I don't want to be driving it.
So
like
this is Irabeto.
Irabeto, if you don't want stress.
But it makes more sense, at least to me, to add the salt now because this is very liquid. So you can easily stir it in.
Yeah.
When it started forming into a paste and then becomes harder, how do you now evenly distribute the salt? You know? Anyway, I guess people also have their skills.
Their reasons.
Their techniques.
Okay.
Okay. So our fire is ready. Nice and hot.
I will drop this
here. Okay. the bubbles are already popping up here. So our fire is nice.
So we have to start stirring it. If you don't want stress, you start early before it gets hard. So that it doesn't get lumpy. Some people know how to do it so well, so they can wait for it to be very hard before they start.
So some
pressing
people
it to the side.
are professional etil makers.
Yeah.
Basically.
Now that I am sure that I don't have any lumps, I'm going to put my water behind it. Now this is where the soft life
so
lady
hot water.
act comes
Yes.
in. Just put your hot water here. Thank you.
Welcome.
Scoop it all. Make sure that everything gets into the water. As you can see, I turned it around so that the bottom is now on top.
That etil is beautiful. Looks
It
so
looks good already.
It looks so good. So Doc, you know what? Let's take a break. Let's go for a break.
Sure.
When we come back, I'm sure by then our etil will be, be cooked, or at least almost cooked, and then we can show the process of taking it out, and then our fancy to get to the point where we can put our fish and our squid in. This is still What's Cooking. We'll be right back.
Yeah, CB women capsules now. I'm a go correct. Why your best mankasa? That's it. You want Oh, middle. You capsules back on CB men capsules. Me see CB men capsules na make a year.
Yeah, you CB men and women's capsules na ye nim ne dada. And one year packaging na ye the fefe.
Wow! What a packaging! CB men, any CB women capsules no packaging is out. And you also no mood any bianza no akodo packaging.
Share a painful any about town man kwada no for. Any kwada won be and come home.
Susanna. Ghana man man tamasi.
Dodo Afre 0247 111671 and 0246 578 750. FDA aje edwedin kato yato.
Welcome back. It's What's Cooking. We're still here and we're in our Heritage Garden in Heritage Month, and this is Channel 1 TV. Do not be deceived. My name is Apioko. My guest today is Dr. Alberta Bonzi Simpson, who I like to call Prof. She doesn't like it when I do that, but I'll keep doing it. Dr. Bonzi Simpson is a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast, UCC, popularly known as it is, and she's with the Department of Hospitality and Tourism Management. But she's also the author of Serving Ghana. It's a cookbook by all standards, international, local, or otherwise, universal, you name it, that has 70 plus recipes that just show you what to do with indigenous Ghanaian meals. It's fabulous, I tell you, amazing. And you need to find a copy for yourself. All right, so Doc, we've been making some fancy and etil. All right, and it looks like it's going very well on our cool pots, you know, Iraba version. But soft life Iraba version. But how are we doing? How's this looking?
It's looking good.
Okay. So for those who are just joining us, the fancy is the sauce, the stew, and it's a fish stew.
Yes.
Fresh fish stew. Yes. How do you say that in Enam?
Enamamun froy.
Enamamun froy. Okay. Enamamun froy. So that's pure fancy for you. Today my fancy is coming. Yes.
The key to a good fancy is that it shouldn't be too dry.
Okay.
So you don't have to cook it too much. Okay. It's nice when it is half and you can taste some freshness and You don't want the stew to be too dry. So this is perfect.
This is perfect.
Because we steamed our fish and squid with spices and salt, I haven't added any salt to the stew.
Right.
I want to transfer the fish and the squid into the stew, taste it and make sure that the salt is okay. If it's not okay, then I add more. If I add salt to the stew now and I put this in, it might be salty.
Makes sense.
So
Makes sense.
that's what I'm going to do now.
Okay.
I'll take this out and use this.
And this is like the crowning moment when it comes to fancy.
So as you can see, even though the fish is a little cooked, it's not cooked through. So I will leave it in the sauce for a few minutes for it to boil over.
Okay.
We have some fish heads too that will go in.
Yes. Fish head is very important for these purposes. So apart from fish, this is cassava fish.
Yes.
What other kinds of fish could we possibly use?
You can use grouper too.
Okay.
Grouper is a very nice fish. So this is our squid.
Okay.
It would also go in there with all the goodness of the spices.
And we could have used octopus as
Yes,
well.
yes.
Okay. So you could use
And
grouper
prawns.
and prawns.
I like to use prawns
Please,
too.
you have to send me some prawns from Alina.
And if you are using prawns, you have to peel it.
Okay. Okay. We
have
can't
to
leave
peel
it in the shell and dump it in.
You have to peel it. So if we can see how our sauce is doing.
That's all.
Now
It's
that
pretty much ready.
Yes.
You know when you make any maize dumpling, as we'd call it, right? So whether it's banku or aklen or
So a little more
a little more salt.
If you've not seen your mother do this, as I said, you've not seen her cook. That is the traditional way of tasting. So. Okay.
So we are fine. So I can stir it?
Yes, please. Lightly, shifting it left, because as I said, fish doesn't have too much connective tissue. If you stir it too hard, it will disintegrate, and you don't want that. So now, after leaving my banku on for God knows how long, I have come back, found the time
this
for
your
it.
soft life banku.
I'm telling you, when it is cooked, it is cooked. All I have to do now is to
That looks really good.
stir it through so that I get a good consistency, and that is it. I'm good to go.
Okay.
And it is good to make the banku, the etzel, very soft, because when it sits for just a few minutes, it becomes very hard. So
because
when
you don't have
make
the cassava dough in there. Right?
Exactly. So when you make it soft, then you can keep it for a longer time. In molding it, we are going to mold it in plantain leaves. Fresh plantain leaves. I have come to notice that if you mold it in the fresh plantain leaves, pack it beautifully into a nice bowl and cover it tightly, it will last almost 2 weeks in the fridge.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yes.
Even
you don't
with
have
the
to keep
softness
doing
and
it.
everything.
Yes.
So then how do you heat it up?
Just put it in the microwave.
That's it. That's it. So I was waiting for you to give me a soft life response.
Just put it in the microwave. So as you can see, I have no lumps in my etzel, even though I've not been driving it, as people will say, for so long.
Yeah.
I have no lumps in it, and I didn't have to do much.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm just thinking about heating it up in the microwave. So because it's in the plantain leaf is natural, medicinal, so you're not worried about doing that as you would be if you had it wrapped in the olunka bags or the banku rubber.
Don't put this. Yes, don't put this in rubber.
No, we don't want that
because it's very hot. So you will get all the carcinogenic effects that you don't want when you cook rice covered with plastic. So you don't want plastic anywhere near very hot food. You don't want plastic near it. So this is my etzel cooked. You can try it and see.
Oh, it looks
Taste
amazing.
it.
It's perfect.
Okay. I wonder how you're going to eat your etzel with your nails.
Don't worry. We know how to eat it.
You will find a way. So this is a perfect
Iraba. Yes.
Soft
So we
life
have
lady.
our ways around it.
Okay. So there is no perfect way of doing this. Just make sure that you have covered it all up. That's all that there is to it. As simple as that. So traditionally, etzel doesn't take the shape of banku. Traditionally, it takes a cylindrical shape. When you are folding it, it takes a cylindrical shape. So I'll try that for us to see.
Okay. Yes, whereas banku is round.
Yeah.
Or rounded.
Yeah.
Now we have all sorts of banku shapes, you know.
Oops.
But traditionally it's cylindrical.
Yeah.
And I guess because etzel is harder than banku or firmer, it's easier to mold in that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's hot.
So now I understand why you requested a plate.
Yes.
We were using our
So
banku
you
knowledge.
see them doing that to it and folding it into a cylindrical shape.
So Doc, did you learn all this from your mother?
Yes. Yes.
So your mother used to make etzel, even in Tema?
Even in Tema.
Sounds like my mother.
But kondo is everywhere. So
back in the 90s, when we were living in the US, we used to make kinki, gan kinki. Yeah. And I mean, it was much more difficult. Now there are African shops all over the place, all over the world. It was much more difficult to find one of those and find the corn husk.
I'm making some small ones.
So we had other ways of doing it. And everybody had their night watch to pay attention to the kinky on the stove.
On the stove. Before it overcooks,
yes,
eh?
but there had to be kinky in the house at all times.
Our mothers really did well.
Oh, they did. They
really did well.
They really did.
It's been easy.
Okay, so this one is for a baby.
I can actually add this to this.
But is etzel something that, well, toddlers could eat it, but
yeah,
you know, we typically start doing the banku and the cocoa when the child is 6 months plus and they're getting into salt. Is this something that we could do for them as well?
None of my kids were weaned on cocoa. It was straight from breast milk, 6 months intensive to banku, mutuo, whatever it is. Because honestly, there was no time to cook the cocoa and then come and do the banku and come and
no. Baby, you eat one of them.
Exactly. So we had to find a way of feeding them what we were eating. So there was a compromise. We all had to come to the middle. So I'll put a lot of powdered shrimps, powdered fish in the stew, smoked salmon, which is soft that the babies can eat. So we had to get used to it and reduce the pepper content of our food. And dare it to say that they really did enjoy it.
Couldn't make food for you and Prof. And then now make food for the... So we're all eating from the same pot.
We are all eating from the same pot.
I love it. I love it.
And they enjoyed it. They really did enjoy it. So my kids are not cocoa porridge kind of kids. No.
Straight.
It is the banku.
We love it. Love to hear.
And the etzel. Okay, so that is it. I will pour the water I was using here into the pan so that it will help with the cleanup. Okay. There.
Okay. So how is our fancy doing? Is it looking good? Is it ready?
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Our fish cooked well enough?
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, it works for me, but this is your dish, so.
I know, right? Yes, fish doesn't take long to cook. It takes just a little heat and it is done. So I will dish some on this.
On this, okay. So on that note, let's go for a break. Ladies and gentlemen, our Fanti Fanti and our Etil is ready. So when we come back, we will sit down and we'll eat like a Rabba 1 and a Rabba 2. The soft-life queens that we are. We'll be right back.
Tasty Tom is giving out cash in the Tasty Tom Juiceika promo. Just check under the lid. When you buy a big can of Tasty Tom tomato mix, you can win from 5 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis cash with over 70,000 cash prizes available. Present your winning lead at any of our distributors' points nationwide to redeem your cash instantly through mobile money or call toll-free line 055 66 38 794 for assistance. Promo lasts from now to March 2025. Terms and conditions apply. This advert is FDA approved.
This is still What's Cooking. It's still Channel 1 TV. And my name is still Apioko, a.k.a. Mami Efwa Adezoa. I love it. I love the way it rings my ears. And I would like to thank our sponsors once again. Tasty Tom, Ufa Kakra, Na Ye Bebre, the Susie Herbal Center as well. You can check them out. They have interesting products available for you. And Kivo. Kivo has a range of spices, not just the hot pepper, not just the gari. It's a whole range of things. So please find it, use it. You will not be disappointed. Now I've been cooking today with the lady, my prof, Dr. Alberta Bonzi Simpson, and we've been making some fancy with etil, a very traditional, indigenous, nostalgic fancy dish. How are you feeling?
Very good.
Yeah?
Very good.
So okay, we should start?
Yes.
Okay, how are we eating this?
Okay, so this is already dished.
Okay.
And as I said, this one is the fingers. Some fancy gentlemen like to do the fork and knife, but well, and the ladies, of course. So
the ladies, of course. No, today we're doing Emmy's Heritage Month, so let's do it properly.
Yes.
Okay.
So, are you eating that?
Yes, I can eat this.
Okay.
Yeah, why not? Okay, and we have some masana here as well. It's your favorite?
My favorite drink by far.
Mine too. Mine too. But do you typically have yours with milk, without?
No, just
okay,
without.
so you're like me, without milk. Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Somebody says it's African malt.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Good stuff.
Nice and cold. Okay, so talk.
As I said, you can see it's become very firm.
Yes.
Even though it was very
mine
soft
too.
at the
Yeah.
beginning, it's now very firm.
This is amazing. How, this is my struggle with What's Cooking. I have to sit down and have conversations. Meanwhile, I really want to enjoy the food. How do I do that? Anyway, Doc.
So you see, the proper way to do this is to massage
it.
The etil
Hey.
in between your fingers, you see. Then
okay, and
you
then
dip it in there.
Okay, and then you go. Okay, so massage. Okay, so Doc,
Yes.
we've done a very traditional meal. I mean, as traditional as it gets, straight from the sea to the pan to the plate. And we are still having conversations in 2025 about the fact that our indigenous meals are too artisanal. And so we're not seeing them in our 5-star hotels and whatnot. Now you are a hospitality tourism expert. You've proven yourself beyond academia to actually put together this beautiful, beautiful cookbook, and I'll give people the information about how they can find it, and because they should. And like we were saying, if you are a man, add this to your traditional list. If it wasn't on the list, you add it. You can't assume that your lady knows how to cook. And the men too, when you're going off to university, get a book. Just learn how to do our traditional meals. But what do you think we need to be doing to make sure that Sunday to Sunday we have some of
What's
these
cooking?
things in our, oh my Lord. Ah, welcome.
Yeah. I surveyed and I realized you didn't even have water to drink, so I brought you some water.
Aren't you so kind?
Yeah. And I brought my rice to face the fancy.
But why are you coming to eat fancy with rice?
No, it's fancy London English and Danish and
It's Danish Accra.
Danish fancy. Or Portuguese.
Because you brought us water, I can't even be mean to you. We'll give you some.
So you can serve me a stew, or yes.
We'll
Pass
give
me
you
the
some.
stew, let me. But you have chene, chene. Calabash.
The calabash.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. This will go wow with the reeds. Fancy.
Can I finish asking my question?
Oh, please ask. Etunasi. Skelele.
Like, can you imagine having a neighbor like this?
Very interesting. If you like to cook, you need neighbors like this.
Yes.
Because when you cook and you don't get anybody to
You
eat,
should come and
it's
help
quite
us
boring.
cook the food. That's the whole. You can't just show up and be eating the food all the time. You don't contribute. You don't give me any money.
The one that times you comes at the right time.
No, man. No.
Just to say hello, how are you?
No, we cannot do this. Anyway, what do we need to do? What are we missing? How can we have these foods in our 5-star hotels? How can we make them more popular around the globe? What are we doing wrong?
Okay, so that was the basis for the book. That was what birthed the book. Being in the hospitality industry, finding it difficult to find indigenous Ghanaian dishes in the hotels when you visit, right from the north to the south, I have tried. Anecdotal information and recognizance survey proved that it was very difficult to find Ghanaian dishes on a hotel menu. There were very few that were quite popular. It won't count more than 8. But as we were going around collecting data, we collected over 150 Ghanaian dishes. So it means we have a lot more out there. So I realized that for the a la carte menu, it is quite easy to incorporate Ghanaian dishes into table dot menus and buffets, because those ones are pre-planned, pre-prepared, and then served. But with the a la carte, where it is prepared to order, it is more difficult for the chefs, according to them, to cook the Ghanaian dishes within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and serve it to the guest. So I sat back and realized that the fundamentals of a good a la carte restaurant is a good mise en place, which is preparation before time. So which parts of the Ghanaian dishes can we prepare before the real service time? And when you think about it that way, then you realize that you can serve any Ghanaian dishes within 15 minutes to 20 minutes. Like I aforementioned when I was cooking, if you even want to prepare palm nut soup, you can have your palm base already there. If you want to go the extra mile, you can even squeeze out the juice, the palm juice, portion it, put it in the freezer and let it freeze. Steam your meat, your periwinkles, your snails, whatever base you use for your palm nuts, steam it, pack it, put it there. Then all you have to do is to pick it up, add your tomatoes, onions, pepper, bring it to the boil, blend your tomato, onion, pepper, put it on your fish, meat, snails, crabs, periwinkle. You know, I'm a typical fancy, so it has to be a United Nations.
Is shining through.
Exactly. And then you just add your already prepared, stored palm juice to it. That is it. And that will cook in like 20 minutes. You are done, because the meat is already soft. The palm has already been extracted. Everything is done. Within 15 minutes, it should be out of the kitchen.
So Doc, I mean, how then do we now need to send all our hospitality professionals back to hospitality school? I mean, is there a sandwich course, for example, that UCC has, or any of our tourism programs around the country? Because, I mean, if this is what you've discovered, it's brilliant, but how do we now make it materialize on the ground?
Okay, so cooking is an art and it's a profession. And like all other professions, pharmacy, medicine, hairdressing, all of them, you have continuous professional training. And it can be in-house training or it can be done in an institution if you want. So if a hotel wants further training for their staff in areas of, say, Ghanaian dishes, they can always get resource persons like myself. I do that for some establishments. I'll just go in there, take them through the kind of training they want. Sometimes it's customer service, sometimes it's cost control, sometimes it's waste management, sometimes it is culinary skills. We can always come in there and do it. But if you want to send them back to school, UCC is always there, the best hospitality school.
So which one would you take me through, Doc? Dr. Bonzi Simpson?
Yes, please.
Which one would you take me through?
You didn't even come to help us cook.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes, the fancy is fancy. Yeah. It's fancy. So which one would you take me through, or would you have me do at the UCC?
Which program?
No, yes, like someone who tastes food.
Then you can come and we have sandwich courses in hospitality management.
Okay.
We are developing certificate courses. And
so you want to be a professional taster?
I am semi.
Can you imagine? But Doc, I mean,